What's up, guys? Repeat back with you. It is Wednesday night. That means it's the NNR Xfinity Series. And just like last night where you saw the trucks get it done right here from Homestead-Miami, we're right back at it. And yeah, we got about 20 cars going to be on track. But I got numero uno right here in the booth with me, the one and only Rick James. Rick, 50% two times wear, two times fuel around a track that notoriously gets looser and looser the more these guys run. I'm feeling pretty good about tonight. How are you, sir?
Pete, once again in the booth with you. Always a treat, and no place that I would rather be on a Wednesday night than calling the NNR Xfinity Series with you, sir. Welcome to the lovely shores of the Homestead-Miami Speedway. NASCAR has been coming here for more than 20 years, and the tradition continues with esports one more time, man. I'm so ready.
Yeah, everybody out here got, again, going to be about 20 cars on the track. Everybody, just like the trucks last night, they are running, special paint schemes. You're going to see a lot of Rico cars out there. You're going to see a lot of Do It For Dale kind of cars out there. But everybody thinking about, NNR's fearless, the one and only NNR Coey, as he's still, dealing with the passing of a man very, very important to him. Again, everybody has that uncle or grandfather or whatever that's kind of a big influence on the direction of your life as you're getting older, and that was the man for Coey. So Coey's dealing with that, taking care of all of his affairs. I'm guessing Coey will be back on track here pretty soon. But Coey, just like last night and just like last week, everybody here has your back. NNR will be here whenever you're ready to return. I know you can't wait to get back on the track, get back to competition again. But buddy, you take your time. Rick, we're going to see a lot of these very very special paint schemes really shine under these homestead lights. It's probably really humid out. The track is already slick. 200 laps around this place. It's going to be a lot of fun. We saw the trucks get wicked loose last night after just 12 laps or so, depending on what they chose on preset. What are you looking forward to tonight, and what do you think we'll see?
Pete, I'm looking forward to the progressive banking that Homestead has to offer between 18 and 20 degrees, which doesn't sound a lot, but it can be absolutely crucial depending on what stage your tires are wearing and where you decide to put your hot rod on the racetrack. Turn 2 and turn 4, the high side exiting those corners are going to be the hot spots for tonight's race. If we open up the Rick James swear word book and go into the P section, you'll see patience is going to be at the top of everybody's list today.
Patience. I tell you what, though, after watching last night's race and watching the packs that completely all over the place until they got through a green flag pit stop or two, patience was really not first on their mind. It was really trying to navigate their way through the field as best they could before their truck started to go the opposite direction of the way they wanted to, meaning the nose pointing towards the inside wall first. And that hit quite a few people. I'm hoping that these guys, maybe they watched that race, maybe they learned something, maybe they spent a little bit more time out here on track either last night or today to figure out what they needed for that long run. Or have they figured out just what you said? The three different levels of banking around Homestead-Miami. Did they have a car that was built for the side where they keep that momentum up? Do they have a car that's a little bit tighter? That way they can get around that bottom. Maybe after setting the nose just a little bit to I'm sorry, tapping the brake just a little bit to get that nose to set. We'll absolutely have to wait and see how they go. But Grace, good to see you out there. Duct Tape, good to see you as well. And then there is the one and only Coey saying he'll be back on Thursday night to continue watching the back of the pack. Yeah, Coey, it's all about you, buddy. I'm glad that you're out. That you're out here. Papa Bear, thank you very much. Good to see you as well. And hey, look at that. There's the one and only Rick James out there in chat too. Rick, how are you?
Pete, I'm ready, man. I'm so ready for this. Homestead-Miami's got to be one of my favorite tracks just because of its natural evolution. We mentioned right at the top of the show that NASCAR's been coming here for 20 odd years. The track opened in 1995, but it was around the late 90s, around 1997 or 1998, that NASCAR came here when it just had 6 degrees of banking on this rounded oval. Now that we've come up to 20 degrees of banking, there's so many racing lines on this track. The variety is insane. These drivers are finishing up their qualifying laps shortly, and we're going to throw the green flag on tonight's fun.
Yeah, I remember when they first reconfigured this track, and everybody made a big deal because progressive banking had never been a thing. And then Greg Biffle, the man just went out. It seemed like season end after season end, and really got it done once they switched from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the championship race to Homestead. I think the man won 4 races out of the first 5 years or something like that. So man, the Biff got it done. I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing who's going to be able to get it done tonight.
Maybe 16 is going to be the lucky number, Pete. Who knows? One thing I am looking forward to is seeing who's going to manage their tires the best. We mentioned the wear on these tires is at 2 times, but depending on how hard these cars are going to be racing each other, I can't imagine these drivers will probably get more than about 20 to 25 laps on a set of tires at most, Pete. In these opening laps, we'll see if they lean on each other a little bit to get their cars around the racetrack.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of leaning last night. A lot of things happened that I'm sure they'd want. Again, this track is kind of like, okay, at Texas Motor Speedway, coming off of 4 is really the only issue that you've got to worry about here. Worry about there, rather. Here, you've really got to worry about coming off of 2 and coming off of 4 because it's pretty much just one. This place is almost like a Martinsville on steroids, kind of like what we say about Dover. It's a Bristol on steroids. This track, it has the banking and it has a whole lot to it, but you can get wicked loose around this place. And in fact, More Than a Cape was talking about Bristol tonight when we mentioned that that's where we're going next week. And he said, Pete, you think you saw a lot of people getting loose tonight? Wait till we get there next week. So are we going to see, just like at Bristol, are we going to see people move up the banking in order to tighten it up? Or are we going to see people at the bottom and just get way too loose, way too early? Or people running that middle line get way too loose, way too early, and come on down in front of traffic? Few people lost grip last night, caused some cautions, and I'm hoping that these Xfinity guys learn from that, and they're going to take it one step higher. They're going to raise that bar just a little bit, and then we still have the Cup guys tomorrow night at 8:30.
So much talent is one thing that I love about this series, Pete. You have the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series, and in each of their own respects, there's so much talent to see because of these different disciplines. And what it allows for NNR to showcase not only the very best and the absolute pinnacle of what No Name Racing has to offer, but the up-and-comers and the young potential that we get to see evolve through these coming years. Really, they have us covered for the present, the future, and certainly not only, and I say the past because they've given us so many great races to see.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. There's a lot of guys that are in this field. I'm guessing are you not showing online?
Let me help you out with that, Pete.
That's
No, I'm
okay. Not a problem.
not.
Your profile picture is probably the easiest to find, so that's not a problem whatsoever. There you are.
Lovely.
There you go. But what was I just saying? Oh yeah, no, these guys. There's a lot of guys that are in the Xfinity that ran truck last year. There's a lot of new guys in truck that will hopefully either run Xfinity or Cup next year, and there's a lot of guys from Xfinity from last year that are now in Cup. So what you just said about staggering the future of NNR is 100% true. And in fact, last year, ENA, where Shotgun came from, used to be the NNR Arkham Menard series. So we had that pool to pull from as well. So man, what you said was 100% right on point, as it looks like we're on track now. And speaking of ENEA Shotgun, he's going to have that pole tonight. He's going to have the 10 of Mr. Kolitz in his outside, two-time winner so far this year. Behind that row two is going to be with the 5 of Little Tank, then the 8 of Combat Beast, 36 of Classic Stew with the 51 of Honeycut, guy that's been forever strong so far, the 54 of A-Bar, the 9 car of Q-Dog. Behind them in the next row, you're going to have the 71 of Twizzle with the 47 of Bill's Legend, rocking those ally colors. Here's that third car, Commando Griff. Commando was all over chat last night. Big help to me, and he said he will be in the booth tonight. Then you got the 0 of LXTX7, 18 car of IRL Blitz or Blitzkrieg. King Mathers in that 15. The 16 of Boudreaux. He's making his first ever NNR start. 98 of Master Killer. And then it looks like Dark Spartan, he is on pit road. So unfortunate early lag out for him. And then you got the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow. The 6 of 7th Monkey. The 44 of Baritone Boss. And then we're back up front as Rick, look at these guys. They're going to try something that I've only seen once before here in NNR. These guys are going to try a 4-wide salute to the one and only Coey. Look at these guys. They're getting it done.
Pete, I'm at a loss for words. Far and away, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in this community, and I think we should let the pictures speak for themselves.
Coey, everybody here in NNR loves you, man. We absolutely appreciate everything that you do, and we're here for you in any kind of times, trying or otherwise. So you got us, buddy. That was, I tell you, Rick, that was a pretty good job for being completely unrehearsed, for them knowing exactly where to pull out and pull up from, and then how to drop on back and get back into position as we head down this backstretch one more time before we take them green. Any final thoughts before we let them loose?
I think of the great Al Green and the song Lean on Me, and the words, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. That 4-wide salute, if anything, not only a great tribute to our friends, but a great message that this community is not only one of the fastest in esports, but one of the most caring and one of the most loving, and that's what makes us the most passionate and the best. And when we go to green, it's with love in our hearts and a hard foot on the floorboard. Let's go racing.
Absolutely, and that shotgun got a good shotgun start in that 39. He's going to be able to lead the field into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. He's got a mellow yellow throwback right behind him, as well as what is this? That's going to be the 5 Lil Tank rocking these mechanics wear colors. It's a pretty nice paint scheme as well. Behind them, second and third is double wide, third and fourth double wide. They are double wide 3 rows back as we're coming to complete 1 lap here, bud.
1 lap complete in the 39 car, leading up ahead. Little Tank in the 5 to the inside of Mr. Cola in the 10, but that bright pink 51 of Honeycut now to the inside, losing traction on the inside, Pete. And there's going to be the paradox of turn number 2 as you see them bunch up. The outside will be much faster, but more treacherous with that great blue outside wall, but the inside will be slower with a tad more grip. But then there is the chance that the driver loses too much grip, giving it too much wheel out of the corner. 2 laps in, the 39 still leads, and they're 3 wide and already in trouble.
Yeah, 3 wide in trouble. I think these guys are kind of doing what I mentioned very, very early in the pre-race, talking about trying to get everything out of those 4 field goods pits as soon as the green flag dropped, trying to get what they could, get single file out, nowhere around them so they can run their own line and they don't have to worry about a thing. Vols fan, thank you very much for those bits. Hope you're doing well there over in Korea, buddy. Know that when you get back, we'll all still be here. I know you're calling those American ethanol races, but man, I definitely appreciate everything you're doing. Just learn, do what you got to do, and then come on home.
Big shout out to Vols fan. Thank you for all you do. Say hello to all your friends over there from everyone at NNR. Rounding turns 3 and turn 4, it's the 39 of Shotgun Cola in close pursuit in that mellow yellow Chevrolet, right behind the leading Chevrolet as they cross that line. 39, 10, 1, 2, all the way back. It's that 77 car being piloted by Twizzle coming out of that second corner.
Yeah, Twizzle. You see the 5 little tank. You see, I mean, it's basically a what do you call this? I mean, it's a rolling pack. That's exactly what it is. We're not at Daytona. We're not at Talladega. We're not at Atlanta. We're not at Vegas. We're not at Michigan. But these guys, maybe they don't know that. The only thing that's separating this track from anywhere else we've been so far is the factor that they're really having to hold on tight when they're coming off those corners. Riding right now with that 36 Classic Stu on the bottom, underneath the 9 of Q-Dog, and right behind the 0 with the 15 right behind him. He's right in the middle of this virtual hornet's nest as everybody back there is trying to run down the guys that are side by side now for the lead. The 10 of Cola and the 39 of Shotgun. 10 would actually go on to lead that lap.
10 edges him at the line. 36 laps left in stage number 1. 10, 39, and it's a three-way fight for second out of the second corner. The 71 of Twizzle High. Abar in the middle in the 54. And then on the inside, the 5 of Little Tank, who just gets hit by Abar. Abar's gone around, and now he's spinning down that backstretch. Out of control. He's been collected by the 9 Hooter Chevrolet. Headed into turn 3. They're going to race it back to the line, Pete. Yellow flag will be out.
I would imagine the yellow flag is out unless... J-Pot should right there call that audible and say, once you get to the line, go ahead and back it on down. And as we ride on right now with the 5 Little Tank, he actually looks like he is still on the throttle. So I'm guessing
we're green.
Yeah, they're going to stay green. J-Pot choosing not to bring the yellow out, and we're gonna keep at it here.
That was my mistake. Surely I was just assuming the yellow flag would come out. My apologies to J-Pot in race control. At the line, 39-10, Ally Hunt Brothers. Both Camaros dueling down that front stretch. 34 to go in stage 1.
Yeah, 34 left. We're keeping with a couple of guys that are actually streaming for us tonight. We got NNR Shotgun, which is your leader right now, as now it looks like the cautions come out, as well as Combat Beast back a little bit further back in the field. To help us out with laps and these eventual cautions, as it looks like it was a caution called by J-Pot, so an audible called by the series admin. So everybody's going to get a chance to come on down pit road, get their first chance to either tighten it up or loosen it up. They probably should have a pretty good idea of what they need by now.
Pete, absolutely they should. The 39 of NNR Shotgun has had a good grip on the first few laps of this race, but Cola in that 10 really came up behind him and gave him a little bit of a scare. Then the 71 of Twizzle has been holding his own in third place, but so far has not been able to catch up to the top 2 leaders. It's going to be 33 laps to go as they cross the line in pit road. Now these drivers have a chance to work with their cars and showcase a little bit of that crew chief knowledge.
Rock, thank you very much for the bits. Man, you're here every single race, no matter whether it's NNR, E-Spark, Shake and Bake, American Ethanol, whoever. Rock, I hope you realize just how much everybody out there appreciates you. You know I damn well do. And, man, you do one hell of a job for the entire community. Thank you.
I'll give a shout out to Rock NASCAR as well, Pete. It's almost every week that I see him in my stream, one way or the other. He's got to be one of the most involved fans I've ever seen. Big shout out to Rock NASCAR and everybody else in chat that keeps us going.
Absolutely. Another guy he's gonna keep it going. 10-car Cola came in second. It looks like he's gonna come out P1, and I think that's gonna be the 71 to his outside, the 5 a little tank right behind him, and then you got the 51 of Honeycutt to his outside with the 0 to round out your top 5. So gonna double file them up one more time, heading down the backstretch, going through 3 and 4 now. Now, Rick, if you're in the head of the Tentacola, what are you saying to him as we get ready to call him green one more time?
Don't speed down pit road, Pete. The 39 of ENEA Shotgun finds himself 17th of 20 cars, and I don't know what happened to the 39 because I didn't think he was that damaged up. So it was either a pit road speeding penalty or something's gone horribly wrong. As far as the rest of his competitors, Pete, they need to watch out for him because before that yellow flag had come out, the only driver that could catch up to and then pass the 39 of Shotgun, Mr. Cola 12 in this number 10 Hunt Brothers Chevrolet. So let's see what his competitors have done now leaving pit road, but already down the back, Cola has a 2-car length lead.
Yeah, 2-car length lead. 5 of Little Tank's going to be down low. The big old shot from the 51 of Honeycutt. 10's got the 71 right behind him. Let's see if that high side momentum carries through at all for the new race leader. Looks like going down the front stretch, he was able to carry just a little bit more speed, a little bit of instability in the lobby. Not too bad just yet. We're sitting at about 20 after 9. Hopefully, if we're going to see that server bump, it comes out sooner than later, and let these guys race it out all the way to the end. 10's going to take the lead all to himself now, Rick.
For the fans at home that don't know, right around 10 p.m. Eastern time is when the, quote, server bump comes through, where most of our server complications happen. We have about 39.5 minutes to that bump. We'll see how soon the drivers can get through. Sometimes it comes sooner, sometimes it comes later, but one thing that is tried and true, the servers will have that, quote, bump in about 39 minutes. Coming out of turn number 3, Pete, Cola leads in the 10. The 5 of Little Tank to the inside, Twizzle on the outside in the 71.
Yeah, Twizzle on the outside, not quite able to come up. There's a little bit more instability. They pretty good job by everybody out there. I don't know if they see the same thing that we see, or they might just say it's just a little bit of lag. They don't know that the entire field just drove in one big, zigzag and kept on going straight again. But right now, all that 10 see is 3 cars in his field, and one he may not want to see is going to be that 51 of Honeycutt. He's starting to put pressure on second and third.
That 51 of Honeycutt now sitting in 4th. He's making good use of that low line, Pete. 3 wide out of that second corner, and Honeycutt is not apologizing for anything. Down the front, 15 outside, 71 middle, 51 on the inside. Watch his line out of turn number 2. Go back to the P section of Rick James's swear jar, and you'll see that Honeycutt in the 51 is being the most patient with that Pink Panther Camaro down the backstretch.
Yeah, down the backstretch, looking to the outside. It's Twizzle this time. Again, a little bit more instability. Saw the 0, the 51, as well as the 71 of Twizzle kind of dancing around just a little bit. Honeycutt giving it a little bit more wheel to be able to complete that turn. Now a big shot from the 78 to the back end, and he's going to get shoved all the way through and into the corner. Hopefully not enough, not too much rather. Don't throw him off his line. He's going to be able to come through cleanly, no problem. Down the backstretch, heading into 3 and 4, really keeping up with that draft. But right now, 10-car Cola, he's still in the lead. He's got 2 wins on the season already, Rick. So far, he's looking pretty strong.
He's weaving down that front stretch, trying to break any chance of the draft that Little Tank can grab a toe from. Little Tank scraping the wall outside turn 4, and you can see after that he's lost momentum. He's going from the low side to the high side, and he's wiggling out of that second corner. The 51 of Honeycutt's also been pushed, so there's action back there, and Little Tank has more than just the leader to worry about. He's now got the 15 of Mathers trying to take second place.
Yeah, here comes the 15 of Mathers again. The American Ethanol Summer Series champ actually battled it out with Stout Whiskey and came out on top. So if you consider just how good of a driver Stout is here on Heat 5, was on Heat 4, was on Heat 3, as far back as I can remember broadcasting and carrying these NNR races with HD or elsewhere, you know, he's pretty good. I mean, take you know. Take it right from his name. Stout is stout. So for King Mathers to take that championship when they were at Charlotte Motor Speedway, King Mathers he can get it done just the same.
Down the front stretch, the 54 of a bar now has a big problem weaving down that front stretch. He got loose, and now he's trying to regain control of his hot rod. That Twix machine having an explosive ride down the front. He's back at speed and now down the backstretch. But meanwhile, at the front, Pete, it's still Cola now pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's got to be loving what he sees right now because second through fifth are all actually scratch that. Here comes the 18. We're gonna say second through seventh right now are all double file. Rick, it looks like they just got released, like the green flag just waved. They are 2 by 2, at least these 3 rows deep, all behind that 10.
And there's already one car into the wall down the backstretch, Pete. They are getting very impatient out of two. The 51 of Honeycutt's also been affected. Scrolling through the field. No, that's the 0 of LX, Pete. The other Pink Panther Camaro that's been sent to the inside. And you can see the heavy damage on the front of that Shriner Hospital's Chevrolet. Back to the front, the leaders remain unaffected. But already, Pete, you can see these drivers are getting a little too impatient.
You know, you mentioned that ENEA shotgun at 39 had to restart like 17th or 18th. Right now, he's about ready to tail grab. What would be about P8 right now? So under green, he's done a phenomenal job to keep working up. He's actually trying to pass the 51 of Honeycutt now. Little loose coming off. Honeycutt's kind of rubbing fenders just a little bit. They came across the line that time, and with that, we've got 21 laps remaining in stage number 1.
21 laps left in this opening stage. Out of the second corner, the 51 of Honeycutt gets into the wall, wiggling. No contact made with ENEA Shotgun, but Shotgun is shot out of a cannon after that restart, Pete. Now into P7. He's made up 12 positions since the drop of the green flag from that restart. Cola still leads with 20 laps left, and if we stay green through the end of stage number 1, he might not be the only driver trying to lead.
Yeah, I was actually just going to kind of flip through between Combat Beast and Shotgun Stream to see if it's showing me exactly how many laps they got left in the tank. So trying to determine whether they're actually going to have to make a green flag pit stop in what's left here of stage number 1. Right now, it's just showing me the running order with Shotgun. Shotgun running in P number 7. He got Unforgotten Shadow in front of him, as well as the Twizzle in the 71. Behind him, he's got Commando Griff and then Classic Stu. So it's pretty mixed bag of some very strong cars sitting up towards the front of this field.
Absolutely, Pete. There's a lot of talent, a lot of variety coming up through this field. And this is one of the stages where the patience is going to be the key. The tires are starting to wear, Pete. There's no way these drivers can make it to the end on these tires, or if they do, their lap times are going to be very, very slow at the end of this run. So we'll see who wants to be brave. We'll see who wants to be a speeding bullet and burn through their tires, and we'll see at the very end, if this stays green, who manages those good years the very best.
Yeah, you know, it's absolutely going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to get it done. Duct Tape out there saying looking good so far. Duct Tape, one caution, could have possibly been 2, but good job by J-Paw to call that, for everybody to go on down pit road, loosen them up, tighten them up, doing whatever they had to do. But it's Rick, no matter, you know, where you start, if you've got a good car, the cream's always going to rise to the top. we're starting to see more and more people coming off of 2 and coming off 4 facing in the wrong direction, and they're having to correct, and those that overcorrect seems to be the ones that are really knocking the wall down.
Peter, there is no rudder on these cars. There is no safety net when the tires have gone. That spoiler is thin on the back of these Xfinity cars, and there is nothing to save you when you've given it too much wheel out of the corner. Little Tank in the 5 and Mathers in the 15, both of those Ford Mustangs battling pretty hard, and I'm willing to bet that their tires are worn more than anybody else's. Little Tank in the 5, Pete, is struggling on that high line. He's having to check up pretty aggressively coming out of 4 for several laps now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he's doing a pretty phenomenal job. I was gonna say, he's been able to hold it up on that high side and keep it out of the 15's door. They come off the corner, and it kind of looks like he's finally been able to get in that groove. He doesn't have to worry about the 15 underneath him. He can run his line. I'm guessing that the 15 might be thinking the same thing, or might be that now he's happy that that 5 is in front of him, because with that dirty air on the nose, it's going to tighten you up just a little bit. But once you have that clean air again, that false sense of security you had just a minute ago is gone, and there you are trying to grab that wheel, and you're white knuckling it coming off of both of coming to both straightaways, and starting to see more and more bringing it on down underneath that white line for that universal signal that they're going to be pitting this time.
It's going to be 14 laps to go when they cross the line, Pete. They'll be good to go with tires and fuel. There goes the 15 of Mathers coming down pit road. It looks like the 62 almost went down but missed his opportunity. The second place now goes to Little Tank in the 5. IRL Blitz in that red and black 18 Supra in third. Honeycutt in fourth. Coming out of the second corner, the 5 of Little Tank going from the inside line all the way to the high side, and he's showing great versatility to use his tires as least as possible while carrying the most speed out of the corner. I'm now curious to see when pit stops cycle back around, who gains the most time.
Wow, I tell you, you just mentioned Little Tank there as he just came across the start stripe. Um, Man, this man is left and right and left and right and left and right coming off of both of these corners. I imagine right now he's really running that low line through from the center off and just letting it drift up towards that wall. That way he has to turn the wheel as little as possible, let just the banking in the track hold that car somewhat steady as he comes off corner again, and not quite as bad that time around. So I think Tank might have found something where he's not as loose coming off, and it almost looks like he might be gaining a little bit on that Tenicola.
Well, the 10 of Cola has worn tires as well, Pete, and this is the stage of the race where tire management will determine how much time you gain or lose. This is part of that delta. Now that other drivers have left pit road and they have 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, their lap times are going to be far superior to those that do not. So drivers like Cola, who are leading this race, really need to be careful about how long they stay out on worn tires. For every lap that his opponents have fresh tires, he loses time on these worn Goodyears, and there you see the 10 car right there, now down on the apron, almost losing that lead in grand fashion.
Yeah, riding right now with the 8 car Combat Beast for the first time. He just had a pretty scary moment when he got caught up to the back bumper of the 51 of Honeycutt and had to literally jam on the brakes and not run him over getting into the corner. I don't know if Combat Beast has pit yet. In fact, no, as he switches through his menus, he's got 3 laps of fuel. So Combat Beast got a pretty strong machine if he's able to really get into it this late in the race.
Absolutely, Pete. I'm now with the leader, the leader at the time of pit, Mr. Cola, and I think he might have incurred a pit stop penalty, Pete. He was flying into pit road, and as the stops cycle back around, there's 11 laps left in this stage, and he most certainly did exceed the pit road speed limit, Pete, and that is going to cost him dearly. What a fatal first stage mistake.
Well, 5 Little Tank, he's just now signaling that he's going to bring it on down pit road. I wonder if you mentioned that Cola when he went to go signal that he was going to be coming down pit road, that he just about lost it. I wonder if he was so afraid or so worried about knocking those brakes that he might spin it out or something like that, and cooked it just a little bit much. It looks like the 5 got a pretty good entry, so we'll have to see how he does. But it looks like there's only about 8 laps remaining here in stage number 1, Homestead-Miami Speedway. If you just joined, this is the NNR Xfinity Series. A pretty good race so far. Just one caution. These guys, though, they've been getting after it ever since the drop of the initial green.
A big shout to More Than a Cape in the chat and Duct Tape 94. Lots of fans in the chat talking about race strategy, talking about the construction of this track, that bump coming out of the second corner. Now we see, I believe the leader is now trying to come down pit road, Pete. I'm not sure who that is. Might have lost him there. But I'm now back with the 10 of Cola. He's just up ahead of that 6 Whataburger Camaro, and the time lost is just incredible, Pete. 10 seconds stuck still while everybody else is moving at speed, going into the corners at 188.
Well, it looks like Tank is out. He just came across the start stripe, riding along right now with Combat Beast Stream. He's in P6 with 6 laps remaining, and I would imagine if the 10-car Cola had some kind of an issue right now, that 5 Little Tank, he might have re-inherited or taken the lead, I should say, or I would imagine rather. I can't tell 100% for usually I can look at somebody's track map and know right off the bat who it is, but with a whole lot of customs out here tonight, can't exactly pinpoint it. But I would imagine that the 5 Little Tank right now, he's got this mechanics wear Ford Mustang in the wind and looking pretty good.
Pete, it was the 51 of Honeycutt who was the leader and is now down pit road. So now Honeycutt looks like he came down pit road at a controlled speed. So I wouldn't expect a penalty here, but anything is possible. Now the question is, who will inherit that lead from Honeycutt, Pete? And it looks like Honeycutt just went either 2 tires or no tires. There goes the 5 of Little Tank, and now it's a race for the stage win with less than 10 to go.
Yeah, less than 10 to go. We're counting the number of laps on one hand here before we get that stage break. During the stage, we'll take a quick commercial break. So both Rick and I grab a quick cold beverage. We'll probably go to nnrleague.com. Y'all want to make sure you go on over there, take a look at all the hoodies, the mugs, the golf balls, the wall clocks, pillows, T-shirts, polos, whatever you need. NNR's got it at nnrleague.com. Scroll on down to the Zazzle tab. And as my buddy Mountain likes to say, the creator of both of the commercials that I use on a weekly basis, come on out next time we see you track and show you're repping that NNR red. We absolutely appreciate it.
It's going to be 3 laps to go at the line. The number 5 of Little Tank, I presume to be our leader, Pete, and he's got a good lead over I believe that's the 15 of King Mathers that now sits in second place. He's got the number 13 of Commando Griff right behind him. Those 2 similarly colored Rico cars, nose to tail, second and third.
Yes, second and third, riding along with that 13 right now, right behind the 15 of King Mathers, as you said. They're now sitting on lap 44 of 45 in stage 1. So, the 5 he's got pretty well in hand, but it looks like these guys behind him they're starting to catch up just a little bit. I don't know if maybe the 5 just took the right side tires or something like that, but the 15, the 18, the 13, they all want a piece of the action. Everybody right now that we're watching, they're going to get pretty close to max points as we're coming to close out stage number 1.
As we close out stage number 1, certainly spare a thought for the number 10 car of Mr. Cola 12. What could have been great stage points for Cola now turns into no stage points for Cola. At the end of stage number 1, it's the 5 of Little Tank taking home all the candies.
And you know what? I'll tell you what. We'll get back to something right quick as soon as we come back from commercial. NNRleague.com. Check it out.
Hey NNR fans, are you looking for a way to rep your favorite NASCAR Heat Preset League on Xbox Live? Look no further. Just go to nnrleague.com, scroll down to the Zazzle tab, and see what we have to offer. From t-shirts to hoodies to clocks, we have everything you need to show your support. Thanks for being the best fans, and we hope to see you at the track repping that NNR red.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging back with us. I don't know if y'all saw, just as that 10-car Cola went on by the start stripe, you saw the 9 of Q-Dog there. The 9 of Q-Dog on a little bit of fuel play, I think. We saw his car kind of bruised and battered, but definitely not beaten. He took home a P2 finish. Way to play the strategy right there, Q-Dog. Congratulations on some pretty good points where I think you had the rest of the field completely baffled. But yeah, Rick, I came across with that 13 of Commando grip, and the 9 was right there. I think he actually might have ran out of fuel right as they crossed the start stripe. It's pretty interesting of Q-Dog to get that done.
Very interesting, and now we have another element to this race that we didn't know a lot of these drivers had, the fuel mileage strategy. They have the conversation with their inner crew chief and work out the math in their head. Right now, Pete, no one's trying to work any math. They're trying to find their own special piece of real estate that they can use to find a fast line around this racetrack. So far, they're jumbled at the front and fighting for every inch.
Yeah, they're doing a full job. The 5 little tank right now, it's kind of looking like he's taking a page out of the book of Cole and starting to extend that lead just a little bit. The only other guy that was able to be up there and keep up with the 10 was the 5. So now you see him up there with the lead, and you got a pack of side-by-side cars, at least 3 or 4 rows deep, going back to the 8, a Combat Beast. He's got the 39 underneath him, and everybody's dueling for position along that beautiful blue line that surrounds Homestead-Miami Speedway.
That gorgeous Art Deco blue that surrounds this gorgeous Art Deco racetrack. And that's what it was intended to have, Pete. It was intended to have a bit of that gorgeous Miami flavor and a little bit of that Miami architecture that has made the city so famous. Bring it to Homestead and decorate this racetrack in that gorgeous sky blue, and it looks amazing, even in this game under these virtual lights. Through that third corner at the front, Pete, you've got the 5 of Little Tank, then the 18 of Blitz, and then Q-Dog sitting in third.
Yeah, Q-Dog absolutely stole some very much needed stage points. I mean, Q-Dog has been up there ever since the first rain dropped on the season when we kicked everything off at Michigan, and yeah, he's showing that. You know, he may not only be able to get it done on speed, he can also, deploy a little bit of strategy, and sometimes those can be a competitor's worst enemy because, yeah, you can be fast, you can be good, but, and strategize your entire way through a race, but to be able to do both at the same time, man, you're talking championship caliber material, and I think Q-Dog, he's really going to be hunting when that time of the season comes around. Now riding along with the 54 of A-Bar in that Twix Camry, starting to make up a few positions down in front of the 47 of Bill's Legend.
A-Bar's been crawling up through the field slowly. You can see that 54 Twix car coming out of that fourth corner. He now finds himself in P5. Look out for that Supra further in this race. Now the number 5 of Little Tank still leads. King Mathers sits in second. Blitz now giving up third to that 39 car of ENEA Shotgun. Pete, now it's a race.
Yeah, Shotgun back up where he was earlier in the first part of stage number 1. He got caught. He got caught up in the back after a caution. Started P18, worked his way up to about P6, I think, by the end of that stage. But now here he is back up front. Can he go up there and grab the 5 Little Tank and pull him on back? I'd say yeah, as he continues to battle the bottom line with the 9 of Q-Dog right behind him.
35 laps to go. It's going to be 34 the next time they cross the line. 5, 15, 39, your top three. Now the 18 of Blitz on the outside of Shotgun, and then it's a mess from there, Pete. 5, 15 out of the fourth corner. They're going to head nose to tail, and now single file down the front. It's not a big draft track, Pete, but the way these cars have been racing, you could almost call this bump drafting and plate racing. I'm loving every single lap.
Yeah, I think these guys are absolutely loving the competition. They can take those runs and go somewhere with them. They're not just stuck behind the guy in front. But at the same time, they got to figure the guy behind them is thinking the same exact thing as we run around right about mid-pack with that 0 of LXTX7. I told him in pre-race I would pronounce his name correctly instead of just LT7 or LX7. Looking pretty good. And yeah, we've been green since the drop of stage number 2. And again, I forgot to change this little graphic down here. Here we go. Stage number 2. And next time, either Combat Beast or Shotgun come on by the stripe, I'll go ahead and grab us a lap count. I figure we're probably about halfway done with stage 2 already. These guys picking them up and setting them down.
We're going to have about 32 laps to go the next time they cross the line, Pete. 5 leading, 15 in second. Now the 39 of Shotgun going to make this almost a three-way fight for first. Now the 54 of A-Bar in fourth place. The 18 of Blitz rounding out the top 5. Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3. Pete, these drivers need to start thinking about pit stops within these next 10 laps.
Now, we saw A-Bar get into a pretty phenomenal wreck earlier, and here he is. Looks like his crew's able to get that 54 Twix machine figured out. They didn't care whether it was left Twix or right Twix. They just put it all back together in one piece, sent him back out on track, and he's just oozing with speed.
So fast, and now here's that three-way fight for first. Pete, the 5 on the inside, the 15 of Mathers on the outside, the 39 of Shotgun. Here comes Blitz, who's still in 5th, trying to make his way up a little bit loose out of that final corner. He's got the 54 still to his inside, coming up the front now. Just a couple of cars back is that mellow yellow number 10, that Hunt Brothers Pizza car to be specific, Mr. Cola 12. After that disastrous mistake at the end of stage 1 that saw him finish 17th of 20 cars, he now finds himself within the top 10, just on the fringes of the top 5, and if anybody makes a mistake, he will be there to pounce. Less than 30 to go in the stage.
I'll tell you what, another guy that's there to pounce. 5 of Little Tank has the 15 of King Mathers to his outside. 39 of ENEA Shotgun on the inside. 5's going to drift up just a little bit, kind of take that line from the 15. 15 doing a pretty good job to keep it off the wall, really steering it up and off. 39 little loose. He's going to collect that 10 mellow yellow throwback to Kyle. There you go. But man, a little bit of contact. I don't know if that's going to bring the caution out. Looks like for the most part, everybody's going to stay green.
A little bit disorganized coming out of the fourth corner. The 39 of Shotgun is now grinding up against the wall, and he's not moving, Pete. I don't know if the batteries died in his controller or what, but there he is now. There's life in that 39 once again. Huge problems there for the potential leader of this race, and he's gone around in turn 2. Pete, Shotgun's now backed up against the wall all by himself, and it goes from bad to worse for the pole sitter.
Yeah, but you know what? We saw something happen to him early in stage number 1. He was able to rebound. Here we are in the middle of stage number 2. Still plenty of time to rebound. One thing that he's shown, though, Rick, he has the speed to get back up through the field, as it looks like we are going to be under our second caution of the race. Another audible called by the one and only J-Pa, which Bill's Legend and Cole 315, Q-Dog, all the members of the J-Pa militia. A lot of them guys out here on track. We'll see J-Pa tomorrow night when the Cup Series takes to this track at about 8:30 Eastern.
And the circus just gets that little bit crazier during that race. For now, the 5 of Little Tank leads. He's got the 15 of King Mathers sitting in second place. That 54 Twix Supra of A-Bar rounds out your top 3 Ford Toyota as they come down pit road for tires and fuel.
Yeah, everybody's going to come on down, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, fill it up with some good old Sunoco E15 racing fuel, and bring it back out on track. They got about 27 laps remaining. They can go 28 laps. So, Rick, they are right on the cusp of being able to make it the rest of the way. Whether go green or not, we'll have to see. Shadowlac, good to see you out there joining in right there with your brother, old Mr. Swats. Man, glad to see you coming out and lending a hand to these Xfinity guys.
They'll have enough gas to make it to the end, Pete, but they won't have enough tires if it stays green to the rest of the stage. Stage 1 only had 1 caution. This is the first caution in Stage 2. We'll see how it goes from here. Certainly, the 5 of Little Tank is going to try his best to pull away from the rest of the field, but now we need to keep our eyes on the 10 of Mr. Cola and the 39 of ENEA Shotgun. Both of those drivers have now experienced enough adversity to send them to the back and force them to work their way to the front.
You know, I'll bet you right now 39 of Shotgun is saying hindsight is 20/20. When he got loose, got all that damage, if he would have come down pit road right then and there, filled it up, fixed any damage that he had, he actually would have been at the front of this pack instead of mid or further. So looks like it's going to be the 5 of Little Tank he's going to be the control car. 15 of King Mathers, the 54. He's going to round out the top 3 as everybody's starting to double file back up under these beautiful Homestead lights coming off for Rick. About to set him free one more time. I remember back just a few games ago, you couldn't go full throttle right at the start stripe. You had to feather it. Imagine if these guys had to do that here. Nope, here we go. Back, hammer down.
Hammer down, foot down, 100% throttle through that first corner. King Mathers in the 15 just edging out Little Tank in the 5 out of turn number 2. A-Bar in the 54 Twix Supra, and now in third. Here comes that Hunt Brothers 10 Camaro of Mr. Cola. On the back, 15, 5, 54, your top 3 into the third corner.
Yeah, 15 getting a big old shove from that Twix machine. 5 Mechanics Wear Ford Mustang down low. 10 of Cola. He's had to fight back through adversity just as well. Got a speeding penalty. Went from first to 18th or so. I think that's what we were talking about earlier. So able to find his way back up. Starting to see the 51 of Honeycutt. He's starting to work his way back up into the top 5 or top 6. A little bit of action, a little bit further in the pack. Right now, everybody chasing the 15.
That 15 of King Mathers leading out of turn number 4. He's got the 54 of A-Bar behind him. Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, your top 3. Cola in third. Down the front, here comes the 5 of Little Tank now taking third, headed into turn number 1.
Yes, 78 now of Unforgotten Shadow. We're going to be looking for some things from this driver here pretty soon. He actually reached out to me in pre-race, said, Pete, I've got a Dale Jr. diecast that I want to raffle away. Please think of a way to do that, and we're going to get it done. Rick and I, Rick will have to get our heads together, figure out what we can do for that Dale Jr. National Guard. I believe it's the COT, so car tomorrow. We'll have to put our heads together, see if we can come up with something kind of crafty to do with that diecast.
You heard that, fans in the chat. Keep your eyes and ears out. We will be raffling off a diecast soon enough. For now, it's the 15 of Mathers to the outside, the 54 of A-Bar to the inside. 2x2, 2 rows deep into turn number 3. The 15 now losing ground on the outside. Here comes that 54 of A-Bar to the inside with speed and the line. New leader, car 54.
Yeah, car 54 playing the lines just like as if we were at Talladega or Daytona. First he goes high, then he's going low, then he goes back high again, trying to pick up whichever line seems like they might be moving just a little bit. And as he did that, it stacked up through 5th as they were just double file right there, at, 2 rows deep. The 78 of Unforgotten Shadow, 51 of Honeycutt, and others right behind that 54 trying to grab that top spot. But right now, that Twix machine, he's got it in the wind and starting to pull away a little bit.
20 laps to go in stage number 2. A-Bar just up ahead. King Mathers trying to follow him on the low line. Mathers now goes up to the middle to get behind in his draft. A-Bar goes low, now back up to the high side and leading this field down that backstretch. A-Bar down to the inside, not signaling, just trying to break the draft into turn number 3. Mathers has help from Cola. 54, 15 to 10. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3.
Yeah, everybody behind the 15, they're kind of a gaggle, and now behind that 10 looks like I believe trying to catch up with that car. Nope, not him. Trying to work up, see exactly who that is right now. In 4th place, that's going to be Blitz, old Blitzkrieg. So he's brought that 18 machine to life. Still, you can see him there. Then we were just talking about the 51 of Honeycutt, then the 5 of Little Tank. He's starting to creep his way on back up. So whatever issues he had on pit road, like he's going to be able to sort it out. Again, Rick, if you've got a car that handles for the long run, you're going to be able to make some moves where others start to falter.
Next time across the line, Pete, it's going to be 17 laps to go. Single file out of that second corner, and it's Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3. Mathers in second, behind A-Bar in first. Mr. Cola sitting in third. Honeycutt in fourth in that pink 51. And now Little Tank into fifth in that black and yellow number 5. Out of the fourth corner, it's now 17 laps left in this stage, and it's a race to the pit stall, Pete, not to the checkered flag so far.
Yes, so far 17 laps to go here in stage number 2, and they've got 18 laps in the tank. So unless something happens, these guys are going to have to push it. Whether this is one of those tracks where you end up burning a little bit more fuel depending on the line that you run, or if everybody is good to go, that's yet to be seen. As you see, the 15 of Honeycutt move up even further as the leaders were just about 3 wide right there. 54 still in the lead. Tentacola coming after it. Here comes the 15 up high, and that 51 pink Camaro. He's making a line of his own, trying to take any bit of a run that he can get.
A-Bar leading this race. Mathers and Cola locked for second. Honeycutt now fighting with the 18 of Blitz to stay in fourth. Out of that fourth corner, here comes that pink 51 now into third place, trying to take it away from Cola in the 10. They're using the draft wisely on the high side, Peter, but Cola is resilient on that inside and up ahead at the front. The 54 of A-Bar starting to pull away again.
Yeah, A-Bar starting to pull away. The more that these guys race side by side, as it looks like the 10 of Cole was able to finally find a spot behind the 15 of King Mathers, but that's not going to matter. The 15 just looked like he got a huge going into the corner where maybe the 54 had to back out of it, maybe getting a little tight, a little loose, but either way had to chase it up the track, or so it seemed. And King Mathers with a huge run, he's going to try that high line again, just as the 54's got the 10 of Cola to worry about in his rear view.
Now on lap 29 of 42 in stage number 2. It'll be lucky number 13 laps to go, and these top 4 have been your culprits all during the second stage. Cola in that number 10 with unfortunate luck at the end of stage 1 during his pit stop. He will be slower this time, or at least try to be, and we'll see how that works out for him. 13 to go left in the stage. A-Bar still leads with Mathers right up his tailpipes.
Yeah, A-Bar's in that 54, 15 of King Mathers, 10 car of Cola, 51 of Honeycutt, and the 18 of Blitz. Started out the season as Blitzkrieg, but changed up his gamer tag just a little bit in case you're kind of wondering who you're looking at. Here comes a challenge for the lead. King Mathers down low.
Mathers to the inside, down the straight, now to the inside of the 54 of A-Bar, but no dice. He'll have to sneak back behind that Twix Toyota and sit in second place, wait for his move out of the second corner. 4.5 minutes until the server bump at 10 p.m. Eastern. 54 leading, 15 behind him. It's a drag race for third and headed to you in 3, Pete.
Yeah, coming down the back straightaway, still everybody knows the tail. Fifth knows that he can get some kind of a good push. Here comes the 10 Caracola, giving him a shot as far as he can in order to. Man, these guys are holy cow! These guys are wicked loose, wicked tight, trying to hold on for all they're worth. 15 knows that he's been able to get underneath the 54 at certain parts of the track. Not sure if he had just, backed the corner up and was able to get a great exit. 15's wicked loose. He's going to go down on the apron, not signaling there, just trying to wreck the car, able to keep it right there in P3. Here comes the 51.
51 now on the inside. Here's the 51 of Honeycutt to the inside. A-Bar hits the wall, and your new leader in car 51, that pink Camaro, is... goodness me. Pete, help me out here. I just blanked on it. Honeycutt. Honeycutt's back in the lead. Pete, that's embarrassing. Honeycutt leading this one, the 15 of Mathers in second. Cola in third, climbing his way back through the field. A-Bar in the 54 behind him, and now the 5 of Little Tank rounding out the top 5 in turn 3. 3 minutes to the bump. Coming out of turn number 4, 51 leads, 15 in second place.
I'm really hoping that bumps that we took earlier were all that we're going to see, and it's going to leave these guys to sort it out amongst themselves. Here comes 15 to King Mathers after you got really bad loose off the turns just a little bit ago. He's going to pull back up behind this 51 of Honeycutt, and he's going to grab that draft, pull himself up yet further. You see the closing rate getting better and better. Camaro and Mustang now first, nose to tail. Ford now running in P3 as well. 51 of Honeycutt trying to hold him off.
Second verse, same as the first. Cola getting loose out of turn number 2. And the next part in stage number 1 was a speeding penalty. Now 8 laps to go. Next time they cross the line. It's a drag race for first place. The 51 of Honeycutt on the outside. The 15 of Mathers to the inside. Little Tank watching in third.
Yeah, Little Tank kind of hanging back. He sees the 15 really challenging the 51. All we got to do is reverse the numbers, and we got first and second, and there's that third 5. He's going to challenge for seconds right now. 51 smacked that wall. Not quite sure if a little bit of game lag or if he had to adjust. Looks like it's going to be all a little bit of that lag issue that we saw earlier. 51's going to be able to retain the lead. 15 in P2, 5 a Little Tank in P3, chasing him down the backstretch, Rick.
90 seconds to the bump. 51 leading. He's got the 15 behind him, and then the 5 car rounding out that top 3. Chevrolet, Ford, your top 3 coming out of this corner. It's going to be 7 laps to go this time by. 15 sitting in second. Now here comes the 13 of Commando Griff for the first time in the top 5.
Yeah, Commando Griff, really haven't talked about him much. He's underneath the 5 of Little Tank right now with the 54 Twix machine that led most of stage number 2. You saw once he got to the lead, he was picking and choosing which line he wanted to go to. Whichever line was moving the best, that's where he was. Big run by the 5. Here comes the 13 as well, as you said, side by side for the lead.
Out of the 4th corner with 30 seconds to the bump. 51 still leading this race, and it's a hard drag race into turn number 1. New leader, car number 15, King Mathers. Honeycutt on the outside now with a little bit of contact to the inside from the 5 of Little Tank. Honeycutt drops into 3rd. Here comes Blitz to take 4th. Cole is going to try and split him. 51's loose out of 2, regains control. Commando Griffin, the 13, now to his inside as well, and it's gone very, very pear-shaped for the 51 of Honeycutt.
The thing that we worried about last night with the trucks was their right front tire. I wonder if we're starting to see that as kind of an issue here in the Xfinity series. We've seen people get up to the front and then fall to the back. Not sure if it was because of that problem or if it's something else. Maybe their preset, maybe their adjustments, maybe during their practice they weren't able to get it quite dialed in for the long run, and that's exactly what we've had here for stage number 2 as the 15 continues to lead with just about 6 laps remaining in stage number 2.
It's going to be 3 laps to go this time. Cross, Pete, there was a huge wreck in the back. The 51 of Honeycutt could not control his car out of turn number 4. One of those hot spots we mentioned at the top of the show. He collected the 54 of A-Bar, another top 5 contender all night long. 2 huge players knocked out in the blink of an eye. 3 laps to go at Homestead.
Yeah, you're right. 3 laps to go, and here comes the 18 of Blitz. He's going to try to look underneath the 5 of Little Tank as they both continue to make up a little bit of ground on that 15. 5 just a little tight or maybe a little loose. They are side by side, door to door. P2. Is anybody going to have anything for that 15 to King Mathers?
Mathers leading up at the front, the 18 Ream Supra of Blitz in second place, but now being overtaken by the 5 of Little Tank on the outside. Cola watching along in fourth, ready to take any spot. Blitz now shuffled back to fourth. Cola now challenging Little Tank for second. Mathers still leads at the front. Pete coming out of turn number 4. The white flag is going to be in the air. Mathers leading with 1.5 miles left.
That 5 Little Tank, he has been fast all night long. So has the 10 of Cola. Blitzkrieg is up here in the top 4. He's been kind of lingering around the top 10 all night long, but he's now appears to be one of those that can separate himself from the rest of the pack. Will the 5 or the 10 have anything? Will the 15 falter here coming in out of the last couple of turns here in stage number 2? Rick halfway through 3 and 4.
Out of that final corner, the 15 of Mathers leading, the 10 of Cola goes high, but it's not going to be any challenge for the Aris Mustang. King Mathers wins stage number 2. It was a hefty drag race to the line. It looks like the number 5 car of Little Tank edged out the 18 of Blitz, and then the 10 of Cola coming home in 4th place. That looks like Q-Dog rounding out the top 5 in that number 9. No, I'm sorry, that's Bill's Legend rounding out the top 5 in that number 47 Ally Camaro.
Guys, you want to know how to follow NNR? Let's take a look here, and we'll be right back.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, so let's figure this all out here. Work back up to the front. It's going to be King Mathers with the lead. 5-car Little Tank, so no big surprise there. Rick, going back green, stage number 3.
Back green under the beautiful blue virtual sky of Homestead-Miami Speedway with those gorgeous palm trees fanning these hot race car drivers down the back. 107 laps left when they took the green. 15, 5, 47, your top 3.
Yeah, 47, Bill's Legend, showing what he's got here for the first time tonight, as he is all over the back bumper of Lil Tank. Tank still trying to grab that lead back from the 15 of King Mathers. Mathers going to bring him into 3 and 4, and here comes the 18 of Blitz, diving it into the corner, getting underneath that 47.
Blitz now to the inside of the 47. Mathers leading in the 15. Little Tank in the 5 behind him. Here comes that 47 of Bill's Legend in that purple and black Ally Camaro. Trying now to take second from Little Tank around the outside. In turn number 3, Mathers leads in the 15. Little Tank trying to get to the inside of his fellow Ford. Down the back now, 105 laps left. Here comes that 47 for second place, Pete.
Yeah, 47 got a huge run off the corner, was able to really pull back up to the rear bumper of that 5, used just a little bit of the draft, but wasn't quite able to pull out in time to keep that run going. So he's actually going to get freight trained as they're going to take it all on the outside. Here comes the 5 again, trying to challenge that 15.
That 47 having a train run on the outside of turn number 4, and now he's struggling to hang on. Here comes the 18 of Blitz, but with a little bit of lag. Here comes the 10 of Cola, and now a couple of more competitors trying to take the positions away. Mathers still leads in the 15, Little Tank in the 5. Now the 18 of Blitz in 3rd place. Ford, Toyota, your top 3.
Yeah, 18 of Blitz has a little bit of help from that 47. 47's got a little bit of help as well. There is a train down low. There's a train up high. They are 4 wide coming through the corners.
Choo-choo out of the 4th corner, and the 15 of Mathers leads the 5 of Little Tank. Once again, the 18 of Blitz sitting in 3rd, 2 by 2, 7 rows deep, and now they split up into that first corner. That was insane. Now, here's Honeycutt in the 51 to the inside of Mathers in the 39. Unforgotten Shadow in that 78, 4 wide out of the 2nd corner, and they're having trouble hanging on to it. The 51 of Honeycutt finally back onto the racetrack to the inside of Abar in the 54. We'll see what these particular drivers can do trapped at the back of this one. Mathers still leads.
Yeah, Mathers still leads. A whole lot of action, as you said, back here with the 51 of Honeycutt, with the 54 of Abar. Abar had the car to beat, or so it seemed, for much of stage number 2. Let's see if he's able to get that Twix machine back up to the front. He's looking pretty good on that high line.
The 5 of Little Tank is one car that doesn't look good on the high line, Pete. He just scraped the wall heavily out of turn number 2, and now that bright blue Art Deco safer barrier has a number 5 just stuck to the outside, and hopefully he can make his way back through the field. Another one takes down. Mathers leads this race. Now the 18 of Blitz is in second. Shotgun third. Cola fourth. Twizzle rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, Twizzle also working his way back up. Here comes the 47 again, using that momentum on the high side. He's going to duck underneath the 18 of Blitz. He's going to be able to be door to door, try to maybe grab on another spot, maybe get back on the throttle. 18, he's going to fight back hard on the outside. King Mathers has to be loving what he sees, because the more they fight side by side, the more he's able to scoot away just a little bit. They've got to worry about their closest competition being at their door panel, where all he's got to worry about is his line.
Now on lap 101 with 100 to go and 99 at the line. 15 of Mathers leading. Now the 18 of Blitz to his inside. The 10 of Cola making it a three-way party. Almost 3 wide and 3. Bill's Legend in the 47. Now he's got Twizzle to the inside in the 71. 5-way fight for first out of the fourth corner. 99 left at the line, Pete.
Yep, 15, good strong run on the outside from the big old push from the 10 of Cola. But here comes the 18 of Blitz, still on the bottom, being relentless, not willing to give an inch, fighting door to door with the 15 as they come off of turn 2. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch, 2 rows deep.
Leaders now in a drag race down the front. LXTX in that other pink car with heavy damage down the front stretch. Back through these leaders, and now it's the 10 of Cola finding himself in second place down the front stretch, drafting off the 15 of Mathers. Blitz in the 18, Twizzle in the 71. One constant remains, Pete. That Eris Ford Mustang remains at the point.
15 of King Mathers showing that he can absolutely get the job done. He's got the 10 car of Cola right behind. The 18 of Blitz has the 71 down low to give him a little bit of a hand, and it looks like it's going to be Cola to shoot to the lead. Actually, they're going to go 3. No, count this 4 wide here, Rick. Coming off the corner, 98. Here comes Master Killer.
4 wide, now 3 wide for second place. The 10 of Cola got a great shove down that backstretch, sent it deep into 3, but too deep, couldn't make the car turn. Mathers, patient on the outside, retains the lead. 3 wide for third. The 47 of Legend on the outside. The 18 of Blitz to the inside. The 71 of Twizzle. Still 3 wide for third down this backstretch. 15 of Mathers leads. Cola scrapes the wall into 3, loses momentum. Here comes Blitz in the 18 to his inside. Cola now drifting high. Mathers with the lead out of turn 4. Pete, they're still 2 by 2.
Yeah, 47 of Bill's Legend kind of tagged that wall just a little bit, kind of made the 98 of Master Killer check up just a tad. Here comes the 8 car of Combat Beast. We're starting to see some of these old players work their way back to the top. We got a challenge for the lead yet again. It's going to be Cola and King Mathers door to door with the 18 of Blitz right there in P3.
Cola to the inside in the number 10. He's going to clear the 15 of Mathers, but will he be able to make it stick? Mathers with the speed on the outside. Cola with the line on the inside, and he does make it stick. And listen to that Coke sizzle down the front stretch. 10, 15, 18, your top 3. Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota into turn number 1.
Rick, I think this is the first time we've seen the entire top 5 all single file over the last 5 or 6 laps. I think they might have needed just a little bit of a breather. Complete white knuckle driving lap after lap. 10 car Cola back to the lead with a little bit of a push from the 18, but the 15 of King Mathers, he's got some Bill's Legend help up high, and they are 3 wide for 4th place.
3 wide all throughout this field. The 10 of Cola leading and starting to pull away, but now the 18 of Blitz wants to reel him back in, and that mellow yellow Hunt Brothers 10 now to the outside and starting to get a good run out of the second corner. The 18 of Blitz with a shove from the 15 of Mathers, and the draft is going to help them reel in Cola into 3. 10, 18, 15, your top 3.
47 still giving a big old push to that 15 Mathers up high. King's going to try to pull back to the quarter panel of that 18. Maybe try just a little bit of a side draft to pull him back. the 18 pulls down low, so there's no draft effect there. Still side by side for P number 1, 47. For P number 2, 10-car Cola's in the lead. Everybody behind him, they want a shot at the front. They know that they've got a fast car. They're up here. They're contending for top 3, top 5, top 10. They want a little bit of that clean air on their nose to try to scoot away, as you start to see that 10 doing exactly what he did in stage number 1, pulling away from the rest of the field inch by inch as we complete these laps. With 92 laps remaining here in the final stage.
Now on lap 109, the Hunt Brothers Chevrolet of Mr. Cola starting to pull away from the Eris Ford of King Mathers. But Pete, I'll ask you to open up the Rick James dictionary one more time. Look at the P section, and the word of the day is patience. Any way you spell it, Pete, there's still 91 laps left in this race. And if these drivers aren't patient and maintain their tires, they will not be there at the end.
No, they won't. And it really kind of seems that by now I haven't seen very many people breaking loose coming off the corners. They've got somewhat of a feel for what these need on the long run. We had one caution in stage number 2, but that was it. We've been green ever since. And that Cola, that 10 mellow yellow throwback to Kyle Petty starting to scoot away just a little bit. 15 to King Mathers knows that he has the hot rod. 18 to Blitz has been there. 47 to Bill's Legend, showing that he can contend. It looks like up ahead of that 10, we might have somebody about ready to try to fight to stay on the lead lap.
Pete, I believe that's the 0 of LXTX now into turn number 3, the final car on the lead lap on lap 111 of this race. The 39 of ENEA Shotgun got squeezed into the wall after some contact with Combat Beast. Those two fighting for 12th and 13th respectively at the front of this one. Cola still leading now on lap 112 and getting a bit of a gap to the 15 of Mathers. Pit stops imminent.
Yeah, pit stops absolutely have to be coming up pretty soon. LXTX did his best to keep it up high. A little bit of contact between the 18 and another. Now a little bit of contact between the 98 of Master Killer and the 18. Just a little nervous trying to work around the lap car. LXTX did a phenomenal job keeping it out of the way. So much so he put that 0 up into the wall in order to stay away and let these leaders fight it out amongst themselves. But right now, Rick, the biggest battle is just for P number 2. Cola's starting to really gain some distance on the rest of the field.
Cola starting to gain some time, and second, third, and fourth must work together if they intend to catch back up. Cars are starting to signal their intent to come down pit road, Pete, so those cycles are going to start any second now. 10, 15, 47, your top 3, Chevrolet, Ford, Chevrolet, and you can see, Pete, the 10 is starting to wiggle out of 4, as well as some of his competitors. Now on lap 114, you can see these drivers are hurting for fresh rubber.
Yeah, 87 laps to go now, and you figure if everybody went down pit road and took the same amount of fuel, same tires, whatever, they should have about 7 laps left in the tank. We just saw the 10 get a little loose, or he was pulling down the signal. I'm going to go with the beginning part of that. I don't think he's quite ready to come on down pit road, but Mathers saw that mistake. Here he is. He's closed up all over the back bumper of that 10 machine.
Mathers right behind that 10, and Bill's Legend in third place watching on. He's starting to pull a gap away to these two cars fighting for fourth place behind him. And then in there you see the 10 getting loose out of the second corner, still not signaling to come down pit road, Pete, but remember stage number 1 where the 10 car just out of desperation and what I would think a little bit of fear came down pit road and may have cost himself that stage win with a speeding penalty. So far, he's got his race under control, Pete. Now on lap 116, he's holding on to a solid lead ahead of Mathers.
Yeah, Mathers right there in the hunt, though. We talked about this exact scenario earlier. The 10 was wicked loose. Was he a little cautious hitting in the brakes as going to try to get down pit road? Did he cook it into the pits just a bit much because he was afraid or worried about getting on the binders a little too hard to the point where he'd spin out. I think, the same as before as well. Mathers was right there in P2, enjoying that dirty air on the nose of that Mustang and was able to tighten that car up. He didn't get quite so loose coming off of the corners. Same exact scenario 2 stages later.
Down the backstretch, the 10 of Cola still leads the 15 of Mathers right behind him, and I would say, Pete, these two are probably just playing strategy, or the 15 of Mathers is content to ride in second place, potentially save a little bit of gas and tire length so he doesn't have to drive the car as hard. Now on 118 laps of the 200 scheduled, the 15 of Mathers gets into the wall, headed into turn number 1. Here comes Bill's Legend challenging for second, and the leaders are about to come up on a car on the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, one more car about ready to go a lap down right now with the 10, as he's got a little bit more of a gap after you said the 15 kind of tagged the wall just a little bit, and I think that's going to be the 71 if I'm not mistaken. I've definitely been wrong before, but 10 can definitely see himself closing. Now, Rick, we were just talking about the 15 enjoying a little bit of dirty air on the front of his car as it looks like we got a caution.
Pete, we're under caution with 82 laps to go. The caution flies at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and that lead that Cola had built up wiped out. But nonetheless, pit stops were coming within these next few laps, so it's a good thing that these drivers get a chance to catch a break and put 4 fresh Goodyears on these race cars.
And we were at the end of their fuel and at the end of their tire, life. So this has to be a very, very welcome break for everybody. 10 cars going to lead everybody on down pit road. No worry here about the brakes. No worry about this, spinning out, anything like that. He's easily able to get on down to pit road speed, navigate this Hunt Brothers throwback to Kyle Petty all the way to his pit stop or pit stall and get it done again with 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods and a full tank of Sunoco Racing. These guys are able to go 28 laps. So with 82 laps remaining, we're going to be looking at least 2 more stops for these guys before we're finally, before we throw that checkers.
Pete, it'll be about 79 laps to go when they take this green flag, potentially less. So they'll have at least 3 pit stops left if this decides to go back to green. If this goes green all the way to the end. Cola coming out in first place. It looks like the 47 of Bill's Legend is in second. And then the 16 car, Pete, first time we've seen the 16 in today's race. The 16 in the top 3, Pete. That car being driven by Boudreaux 77.
Yeah, guys, first attempt at one of these NNR Xfinity races. And you know what, Rick? In pre-race, weren't we talking about how Greg Biffle came up here and dominated Homestead-Miami Speedway right after they went to this multi-bank configuration? Well, look who's sitting up here in this top 5 now. Little bit of possibility.
We mentioned in that pre-race show as well, Pete, the 16 could be the lucky number of the day. Who knows? Boudreaux hanging on in that 16 car. That Eris Camaro might just be in victory lane, but don't count your chickens too early. Look at the competition that surrounds him. Directly behind him, the 15 of King Mathers, who's in contention for leading the most laps today. Up ahead, the 47 of Bill's Legend, who's been quietly biding his time in third. The number 10 of Mr. Cola, who's built up the largest lead of anybody in tonight's race. Behind them, Twizzle in the 71, who has not been a flash in the pan, but a slow roast. And that dinner is almost finished at the end of stage 3, so I can't wait to taste the fruits of his difficult labor, rounding out the top 5 in that number 15 car. Again, King Mathers, A-bar to the outside in car 54. In 7th place, you have the 51 of Honeycutt, who has shown the capability to lead this race, Pete. So in this top 7, any of these drivers could win this race.
Absolutely, it's really going to be interesting to see what this 16 car is going to be able to do. He knows that he's up here amongst some very very fast competition. None of these guys have really just been, up here and then they fall back just a little bit. They've been up here and they've stayed up here. Rick, we are going back green under the lights. Homestead one more time.
One more time, the number 10 of Mr. Cola leads. He's got Bill's Legend in second. Twizzle in the 71 takes third. Single file out of that second corner, trying to get up to speed. We'll see if the 47 plans a move into turn 3. So far, it's 10, 47, 71 into the third corner.
Yeah, lead right now side by side. 71 down low. 16 seeing the 54 of A-Bar. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. 54 come on up on that high side. 3 wide for the lead right now, Rick.
Into that first corner, the 10 of Mr. Cola holding that low line, the 54 of A-Bar to the outside. They're side by side, and it looks like the yellows come out again, Pete. So for the first time tonight, we've got 2 cautions in one stage. This is caution number 4.
Yeah, a little bit of a caution breed cautions kind of thing. Now, Rick, everybody was just down pit road. They called it one more time for something that must have happened a little bit further in the back. Again, the one and only J-Pod, the series admin, called an audible, said, all right, yellow's out yet again. What would you do? Do you stay out or you bring that machine down pit road one more time?
Pete, there's still over 70 laps left in this race. I would bring it down pit road for the freshest tires available, the most full a gas tank can get. They're taking no chances, and there's still time to experiment with a couple of changes, Pete. Drivers are going to have to work their way through this field, and if they haven't yet, they should probably give their cars a little bit of work to do so they know what they need to contend with in these final 10 to 15 laps.
Yeah, 10 car Cola still leading, 47 of Bill's Legend, 71 of Twizzle, 54 of A-Bar, and that looks like that's going to be your top 5. Got to see how they line up once everybody comes off pit road again. What you call it? Speed. There we go. I figure right about 60 or 65 mile an hour, just waiting for everybody to do what they got to do. It seems like the entire back half of this field took the opportunity to go on down pit road, and that first car you see flashing up towards your leaders, it looks like it's going to be that 51 of Honeycutt. So he's got a Camaro that can absolutely contend. Will he be one of the ones to kind of bring his way up to the front and challenge these guys with those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods?
Only time will tell, Pete. They're coming to lap 125 of the scheduled 200, so it will be 75 laps to go when they take this green flag, assuming that they get double file for this upcoming restart. One driver that I'm excited to see is the 47 of Bill's Legend. We've yet to see him lead this race, and he's proved to be explosive on these restarts, but the long run is something we haven't seen from this Ally Camaro. If anything, the 47 of Bill's Legend not only has to prepare for the restart, but for the lead that Mr. Cola has shown time and again he will build.
One thing that we have also seen as we closed out stage number 2 is the 47 of Bill's Legend absolutely has a car for the long run. He was one that was able to put it down low, put it up high, run the middle wherever he was able to find a hole, or wherever, whatever car he felt he would be able to the lead that would best suit his purposes, he was able to do it. So that Camaro has been all over the track in many different places, and yeah, he's been pretty consistent so far.
It'll be 75 to go this time across the line. They won't file up for the restart just yet. We'll see how they line up when they cross the line. 10:47, your leader, Pete. Still early stages in this NNR Xfinity season, but already plain to see who the big players are, who's consistent, and who has work to do as the season goes on.
Yeah, plenty of time left, as you said, coming across the start strike one more time. I imagine the car that we just saw flash by the leaders was going down pit road maybe the lucky dog or whatever, and able to get back, get that lap back. So let him come on out. I imagine that these guys are probably going to file up here, either down the backstretch or getting into turns 3 and 4. Still 10:47, the 71 and the 16. As here they go, back side by side, coming into 3. Rick.
Side by side, it's a lockout of Chevrolets in the front row, the 10 and the 47 of Cola and Bill's Legend, respectively, in those Camaros will be leading us to green. It's a Ford lockout of row number 2. Boudreaux in the 16 restarting in 4th. He's got Twizzle in that 71 KBB Mustang in the 3rd position. Rounding out the top 5 in that Twix Cookie number 54 Toyota Supra A-Bar. Going back to green, Pete, Cola leads.
Yeah, Cola leads 47 of Bill's, 71, and that 16 of I forget, new guy. I apologize, but keeping up here and see what he's going to be able to do. But Rick, it looks like everybody is going to duck down low and leave this 48 of Bill's Legend out to dry. A little bit of contact between that 16 and the 54 of A-Bar. A-Bar able to come back from it and keep that car pretty straight and narrow on that low side. Everybody's still chasing after the 10.
Keep an eye on the new guy, Pete. The 16 car being driven by Boudreaux, now sitting in 5th place, but he's got the 98 of Master Killer in that IK9.com Ford Mustang to his outside. This is the first time we've seen that 98 car in the top 5. So good showing from him so far. Pete, there's so much talent at the front, and for the first time tonight, just by a nose, the 71 of Twizzle is your new leader.
Yeah, Twizzle got a big old push from the 54 of A-Bar. Boudreaux in that 16. Now he's on the bottom as well. They are side by side, 4 rows deep, coming across the line, getting back into 1 and 2. 10 on the high side, 71 down low, 54 now in the middle. Looks like he lost a little bit of momentum, or might have got a shot from the back bumper. Here comes the 47 of Bills yet again to challenge for P3. Contact behind this pack.
Contact down the backstretch, and they're struggling into 3. The 54 of A-Bar's gone around, and that's the second time he's been involved. Bill's Legend scraping that turn 4 wall, coming out the outside, and now it's a race down the front. The 10 of Cola leads, the 71 of Twizzle to his outside. Bill's Legend in the 47 in that Ally Chevrolet sitting in 3rd, still racing into 1, and now it looks like the caution has come out.
Yeah, caution's out one more time, 3rd time here in stage number 3. 10-car Cola, C1 of Twizzle, 47 of Bill's Legend. That's going to be your top 3. The 98 of Master Killer making his presence known, sitting there in P4. And again, that 16 of Boudreaux to round out your top 5. I think of a movie called Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the late 80s, early 90s. He played I think it was a cop or something like that. His name was Boudreaux in the movie. One of my favorite actors. I don't think I'll forget that 16's name anymore.
Never seen it, Pete.
It's a good movie.
I think the only cop movie I've ever seen is Rush Hour.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's an absolute lie. There's lots of great cop movies out there. Heat is one of them with the great Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Yep.
There's Rush Hour 2.
Yep. And all kinds of great movies. But man, I bet you a lot of these guys wish that this movie would get up and get over with. They want to see the credits. We want to read about the top 3 and talk to the top 3. We want those backstage passes to find out who's going to be the one to come on up and grab it when it's worth the most, as it looks like that 16 of old Boudreaux 77. A little bit of strategy here. I'm guessing he took just right side tires, and he's going to lead the field when we take back that green.
Big strategy from the new guy, Pete. We'll see what the fresh meat can deliver. So far, it's been a good show at the front. Boudreaux now has everything to prove in that number 16 Eris Camaro. It'll be a front row lockout with the number 10 Hunt Brothers Camaro of Cola in second place. The 71 of Twizzle will be restarting in third. Fourth is going to be Bill's Legend in car number 47. Rounding out the top 5 is Honeycutt in car number 51. King Mather is going to be starting in 6th place. In 7th, for the first time today, Pete, is going to be the custom 8 car of Combat Beast Unforgotten Shadow in the 78 car. In 8th place, Commando Griff in 9th.
As it looks like we are going to take one more pace lap. Looks like it's going to be the 6th car to whip on by the leaders. Go ahead and get his lap back. So I assume the 6th was the free pass car right there. So we're going to take one more pace lap, maybe 2. As he's going to have to work his way down pit road, although it kind of looks like they are starting to double file up already. So J-Pop might be saying, all right, let's get ready to go back. 10 and the 16 are going to be side by side. And yeah, here they are forming up, coming off of turn 2, going down to backstretch.
Coming out of this second corner, headed down the backstretch. I apologize to the fans at home. I confused the 0 of LXTX and the 51 of Honeycutt. The 51 of Honeycutt starting 10th. The 0 of LXTX starting in 5th. At the front, Pete, it's the 16 of Boudreaux. We'll see how the new guy does when we go to green.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if Boudreaux's going to be able to keep everybody else behind him, he's got to really look around him and realize what kind of company he's in. Every car around him has led multiple laps. Most of all, that Tentacola to his outside. Rick coming to the Geico restart zone. Homestead-Miami, stage 3, going back green.
You got it. Boudreaux in the 16 leading this race with the 10 of Cola to his outside, the 71 of Twizzle to his inside. Shout out to Brad Herman 85 who says Pete sounds pretty compared to Rick James. So that settles that debate, Pete. You're the pretty one. Out of turn number 2, Boudreaux still leads in the 16. He's got the 71 of Twizzle right up his bumper. Here comes the 0 of LX. Contact into 3.
Yeah, duct tape. Looks like we got about 67 laps remaining. I'm sure right now Boudreaux in that 16, he wants to lead every single lap. Here comes that 0 with a huge run down on the low side, trying to get underneath that 71 of Twizzle. He's actually going to lead the field 3 wide going into 1 and 2.
Huge 3 and 4 wide coming out of that second corner. The 16 of Boudreaux left to dry like old laundry on the line that's been forgotten. Outside the top 5, still 3 wide for position, and Boudreaux continues to slide back up to speed, and he's on the outside line with a control of his race car. At the front of this one, for the first time, leading a lap. The 71 of Twizzle is your new leader. Behind him, 2 by 2, almost 7 rows deep as they cross the line now on lap 135 of 200.
15 of King Mathers giving a shot to that 0-10 car Cola to the outside. Here comes the 78, also up high. P3 is going to have to be settled after a 3-wide salute, just like we saw a 4-wide salute at the beginning of this race. 71 down low, 47 of Bill's Legend slightly taps that wall, coming through 3 and 4. That's going to allow King Mathers to slide on by. He's going to tail grab that 0 one more time, keeping it up high, keeping that momentum. 15's getting closer and closer. He can sniff that lead already.
3 wide for first place, the 71 of Twizzle in the sucker hole in the middle. Unforgotten Shadow to the inside, and the Hooters 78 car. There's Mr. Cola in the number 10 Hunt Brothers Camaro to the outside. Twizzle in third. Here comes the 15 of Mathers behind him on the outside. LX in that pink 0 sitting in the 5th position. 3 wide for third out of that 4th corner. LX in the 0, Twizzle in the 71, Mathers in the 15. Here comes A-Bar in the 54, Commando Griff in the 13, now on lap 137 of 200 laps.
Yes, the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow all over the back bumper, the 10 of Cola. These two starting to skate away as behind them. I mentioned then, and when we saw right here live, they were 3 and sometimes 4 wide going through the corner. The more they continue to battle it out like that, the further and further away the top 2 get. They are tandem style all the way around this track. Cola can absolutely lead. He's shown that he's got the ability. 78 just needs to stay in. If they do that, they might be able to settle it out amongst themselves. Here comes that 71 though.
62 laps to go the next time they cross the line. The 71 of Twizzle holding strong in third place. That KBB Mustang trying to hold off the Eris Mustang. That red, white, and black number 15 Ford of King Mathers. A-Bar in the 54 in fifth place, trying to make his way back up through this field. At the front of this one, Cola still leads in the 10. Then he has the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow in that Hooters Supra in second place.
Yeah, Unforgotten Shadow is not letting up. He has been in the exact tire tracks of that 10 lap after lap. 71 to 15 and 54 of A-Bar. They continue to run side by side, not really getting single file, just keep duking it out. As 15 of King Mathers now, he's going to take sole possession of 3. If any can work their way up to these top 2 with a little bit of help from that draft, it's going to be the 15. And he's been no slouch all night long. Here he comes with a big drive into the corner.
The 15 is coming in fast. King Mathers wants his lead back. He wants to be king of the hill. Meanwhile, Coke rules the roost. It's Mr. Cola at the front, and Unforgotten Shadow trying to fly away with that Hooters Supra in second. So far, it's Chevrolet, Toyota, Ford, your top 3 out of turn number 4.
Yeah, 10 still leading, 78 wants it, 15, he's been there all night long, he wants it back. Now, first through 6, all nose to tail, going all the way back. First car I see is going to be that 51 of Honeycutt. Honeycutt took a gamble a little bit earlier and went down pit road when most of the leaders stayed out. Able to work back and gain quite a bit of that track position. Starting to see him work his way back up front. He was strong earlier in stage 1 and stage 2. Let's see if he's got what it takes to work his way back up to the lead. You also see that 0 there as well.
Camaro, Camry, Mustang, your top 3, Cola, Shadow, Mathers, into turn number 1. That 10 car starting to pull away like we've seen before. The 0 of LX in the middle, sliding back out of the top 5. Loose out of turn number 2. The tires are starting to wear on these cars, Pete. And those drivers that came down during that last caution, thankful now for these tires. Coming up to lap 143 of the scheduled 200. No change at the front. Single file top 7.
Right now, riding along with 51 of Honeycutt, I think that was the 18, and another car made a little bit of contact, sent the 18 to the inside wall. That allowed these cars to check up just enough for the 51 of Honeycutt to grab the draft. Little loose there coming off the corner, but he should be able to continue to work his way up as the entirety of first through 6 about single file, and just as I say that, they're going to go double wide again and allow that 10 to scoot away just a little bit more. Rick, by now they figured, or they should have figured, that you can't leave that 10 out there by himself. He will just drive away.
Peter, that's one big fish that needs to stay on the line if they plan on reeling him in before the race is done, but he's going to swim away at a fast pace if they don't keep the pressure on. Shout out to Boehner, who made it home in time for the finish. Boehner, you have missed a great race so far, but it's only getting better. 5 cautions into this race, now coming out of turn number 4 to start lap 145. The 10 of Cola still leads into 1.
Riding right there with the 54 of A-Bar, really pinching the 71 of Twizzle down as much as he could without wrecking him. Great job by both drivers to use their awareness and use their skill to not wreck each other. 54 of A-Bar just a little loose. 71's going to fill in right behind him. Here comes that lucky or unlucky 13. That is yet to be seen. He's working his way into OP number 6. And here comes that 39. He's working his way back into the top 7 as well. That TNEA shotgun, he showed a lot of speed early in the going.
Cola in the 10, Shadow in the 78, and then Mathers in the 15. These 3 starting to pull away, Pete, and that single file 3-car tandem is making waves. Meanwhile, Little Tank in that 5-car, who's trapped at the back. We haven't seen him at the front since his stage 1 win, and there's so much traffic ahead. We'll see how the pit stops sort all of those drivers out. Meanwhile, this fight fourth on back. The 54 of Abar, the 13 of Griff, the 71 of Twizzle, the 51 of Honeycutt, now the 0 of LX, and the 18 car of Blitz. Did I name enough? If not, here comes that 39 of ENEA Shotgun out of the fourth corner, Pete. It is getting crazy back here.
Yeah, behind these top three, they look like a flock of geese, the way they're in a big old V formation flying through the sky, trying to work their way back up to this top three. Everybody being led by that 51. He's shown that he's got the speed, but does he have the time to work his way back up into the top four? 53 laps remaining here at Miami Homestead with the NNR Xfinity Series. Anybody that just came out and joined, thanks for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up. Glad you're here.
Be sure to share the link, twitch.tv/repeat1975. They were 3 wide for fourth place out of turn number 2. Now they're just double wide for 4 rows down the backstretch. The 13 of Commando Griff sits in fourth. The 51 of Honeycutt now in fifth. At the front, the lead remains unchanged. The 10 of Cola leads. The 78 of Shadow is in second. Mathers holding on to third.
Yeah, Cola has yet to really find his match. Not many people have been able to grab the lead and drive away. Whoever seems to latch onto the back end of this 10 Hunt Brothers throwback has really just been able to stay right there with them. None of them been able to solely pass the 10 and then continue to just drive off. The only one we've been able to see pull a couple of cars away from the pack has been the 10 of Cola. He has been the dominant driver here tonight. But with a couple of pit stops left to go, we've seen this guy get loose a little bit more in the later run. Or has he fixed it with that last pit stop?
There's cars coming around out of turn number 2, Pete, and there is the telltale sign that tires have worn. 50 laps to go at Homestead-Miami. Cola leads the field to the line. The 51 of Honeycutt now in fourth place, trying to make sure his car doesn't wreck. And it looks like, Pete, we are under caution.
Yep, everybody bringing it down to pace speed. There is that 51. He's got to be glad. He knew that he had a pretty fast Camaro. He was starting to reel in the 15 of King Mathers, but he needed this caution to get caught back up, and now everybody will have a shot. It's kind of a manual caution, and I guess I never brought that caution flag down from before, so my bad completely. But guys, if you just joined, you've missed a pretty good race. These guys have been duking it out all night long, from right here at Homestead-Miami. Man, glad you're here. I think you might have just joined when it's actually really about to get very good.
It's only going to get better, Pete. It's going to be less than 50 laps to go, which means these drivers will have at least 1 to 2 more pit stops in this race. If we go back to green, we're guaranteed to get at least 2 more just for the sake of tires. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Yeah, depending on how far we go or who's got to get their lap back, whether the lucky dog pit with these guys just now or what the case may be, we'll have to see. A little bit of a battle now between the 78 and the 10 of Mr. Cola coming off pit road. Looks like it's going to be the 78 that will prevail, and then the 71 of Twizzle P3, 51 of Honeycutt in P4, and a little bit further back, yeah, they're all nose to tail. Everybody using the pit road exit lane, coming back out on the track.
The 78 of Unforgotten Shadow at the front of this one, now to his outside in car number 10, Mr. Cola. So it's a Supra Camaro front row. Twizzle in that number 71 KBB Mustang in third. Honeycutt in the Shriners Hospitals Camaro in fourth. Mathers rounding out the top 5 in that number 15 Eris Ford Mustang.
Yeah, side by side, so I'm guessing they all got the message from JPod that they're going to go this time by. Usually right now they'd be single file, letting any lap down cars or free pass cars go on by. But coming to the restart zone, 78-10, hammer down, back to green, going to 1 and 2, Rick.
Out of this first corner, the 78 leads the 10 of Cola, the 71 of Twizzle in third place. We'll see what Shadow can do with this lead. All of these cars in this top 10 have been contenders tonight. The 0 of LX even has been a contender despite going the lap down. He's back in this top 10 mix. Cola now to the outside. Shadow trying to hold off the lead. Here comes Twizzle in the 71.
Yeah, 71 looking down low, unable to do anything with it, though. 51 of Honeycutt's going to give a big old shot to that 10 bumper. Can he dive it down into 1 and 2 and maybe challenge the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow for the lead? If anybody can, the 10 absolutely can. He's been stout all along, side by side for P1. Down the backstretch, heading to turn 3. It looks like 78's going to be able to hold on to that lead, Rick.
They were briefly 3 wide for third place out of turn number 2, but now things have settled down. Single file out of the fourth corner. The 15 of Mathers trying to make a move. 78 of Shadow still leads now on lap 155 of the scheduled 200.
Yeah, Unforgotten Shadow leads 71, the 10, the 51, and additional company. It's a big old pack behind the 78, and right now he has the field right where he wants to see them. Will he be able to hold on to it and do what the 10's been able to do for most of the night, or will he falter or fall back? Does he have the long run speed? We'll have to see. Before that caution came out, which, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Before the caution came out, he was able to hang there with the 10, just not get by him. As you see, the 10, though, he's going to try to pull the slide job. Not quite able to complete it. They're going to be double wide for first through fourth.
It's a drag race down the back with the 10 of Cola leading. It's going to be 44 laps to go the next time they cross the stripe. 10 on the inside with the 51 of Honeycutt behind him. Unforgotten Shadow trying to hold on in the 78, but it will be all for naught. 2 Chevrolets in the top 2. That's 78 Supra in third. Here comes Blitz in the 18. The 71 of Twizzle rounding out the top 5.
Now, earlier when Cola in this 10 was able to get up there and the 78 was just able to hook onto his bumper, they were running tire track for multiple laps. 10 knows that the 78's got a fast car. It might just be with a little bit of draft. I don't know how much of the damage on the front end of that 78 is real and how much of it is lag from pulling into his pit stop. He looks like he's pretty quick, able to get back by the 51 of Honeycutt down low, able to slide up right in front. 51's going to try a little bit of a crossover. All of this still happening behind the 10.
The 51 of Honeycutt now moving into second place. The 78 of Unforgotten Shadow to his outside. The 15 of Mathers sitting in fourth, trying to break into the top 3. And they're starting to pull away. But the 10 of Cola is starting to pull away even harder, Pete. They're going to complete lap 158 and head to lap 159. And so far, no one has figured out the strategy to keep Cola at bay. It's going to have to be on a restart because on these long runs, that number 10 Hunts Brothers Camaro is just too fast.
Yeah, he has been, right from the get-go, able to get up and get through the gears pretty quick. 51 of Honeycutt, he has had to fight back, after a couple of issues as well. See a little bit of contact behind the 51 and the 78. Nonetheless, able to hold on to it. It looks like they're 4 wide for P4.
They're 4 wide for P4, Pete. I can't believe they're trying something with still so many laps left on the racetrack. Out of this fourth corner, it looks like they almost got into a wreck. The 54 of A-Bar comes up as the big loser. He loses a lot of momentum and a lot of positions out of that fourth corner. Single file, top 5. Cola still leads.
Great job by the 54 of A-Bar. Not only hold on to that and bring his way back up on track, but he had the 18 of Blitzkrieg to his outside. A-Bar, rather than wreck the 18 after sliding up track a little bit, he decided to completely just back out of that. It cost him a few spots, but he was able to keep us green. So great job by that 54 Twitch Toyota.
Now on lap 161 of competition, still 40 laps to go. The 10 of Cola leading this race. Honeycutt in second, and that's the 18 of Blitz who's trying to get up into, I'm sorry, that's not the 18 of Blitz, forgive me, that's the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow, and the 15 of Mathers behind him. Single file top 6 into the third corner.
Yeah, 71 of Twizzle kind of fading back just a little bit. He does have the 18 of Blitz to his outside. King Mathers right now riding about OP5, 71 and 18 side by side. 40 47 of Bill's Legend with a big old push from the 5 of Lil Tank. He's starting to assert himself back into the mix with the 54 down low. We're starting to see some of the guys that were strong in rounds stages 1 and 2 work their way back up into the top 10 here when it really matters. One more pit stop to go.
Out of this fourth corner with one pit stop still looming on all of these leaders. The 10 of Cola leads, the 51 of Honeycutt in second, the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow third, Mathers fourth, and that looks like Commando Griff in fifth place in that number 13, Rico Supra. Now 38 laps to go. As you said, Pete, still one pit stop remaining for fuel, but these drivers cannot go more than 20 laps on tires and expect to be fast. It could be a gamble on fresh rubber, Pete. Still so much left to determine. These drivers have to ride around and stay in one piece.
I'll tell you what, 13 of Commander Griff last night, he did a phenomenal job during the truck series, getting everybody in tune as to what was happening around the track. Lucky Dog and I, as we're calling the race, we can't be at all places at all times. Him and Bain were doing a phenomenal job keeping everybody in chat abreast of where each and everybody was. And during that, he called his shot. He said, Pete, I will be in the booth with you tomorrow night to talk about my race. Commando Griff, he's got just one or two more spots to take before he can make that prediction a reality. He's got the 47 of Bill's Legend right behind him as they're going to start yet another lap. He's running P5, just needs a little bit of help or maybe a caution, or who knows, maybe even a little bit of a great pit stop to work his way into the top 3.
Absolutely, the number 10 car of Cola up ahead, the 51 of Honeycutt in second place. The laps continue to wind down. It'll be 35 left this time by. Back through the field, they're still fighting pretty hard for fifth place on back. The 54 of Baritone Boss down to the outside of Boudreaux in the 16, and then in fifth place here, not in fifth place, in this fifth place battle, you've got the 18 of Blitz, the 13 of Commando Griff. A-Bar is back here as well, Pete, so even though the leaders are starting to get organized, as it looks like Honeycutt is signaling for pits, it's still calamitous in the mid-pack.
Yeah, 47-18 there. 47 and 13. Commando Griff and Bill's Legend side by side. Here comes the 54 of A-Bar, 18 of Blitz, 71 of Twizzle. That pack just keeps swapping position after position. Just a moment ago, it seems like I was talking about the 47 giving the 13 a shove. Now the 47 is underneath that 13, and they are side by side, mid-pack, top 4 scooting away.
Top 4 is starting to scoot away as these leaders pull even further away before this pit stop cycle, Pete. This is excellent strategy between these 4 drivers, because if they can maintain the draft and stay fast, they only open themselves up to a larger pit road delta. The in-lap and the out-lap have to be your fastest laps, and with this lead, they give themselves more of a room for error. The 78 of Unforgotten Shadow starting to fall off that draft, but the 10 of Cola still leads with great ferocity.
Got a little bit of contact in the back. 78 and the 18, I believe. 78 went into the inside wall pretty hard. There was one car that came off the corner and just completely crossed the track, made everybody check up, and when that happened, it just did not turn out quite so well. Few cars down pit road, not quite sure if they got forced or what, but this could be the final pit stop everybody will have to make. Just about 30 to go.
It's going to be
No
30.
Caution.
Yes, there is. There's a caution out on the racetrack, Pete, with 32 laps to go on the 169th lap of competition. It's a pretty nice break for some of these drivers who have been going hard since that last restart. We're going to have less than 30 to go when these cars pit, Pete. So now it opens itself up to some great strategy. Let's not forget, at the end of stage number 1, Q-Dogs finished in second place by being able to stretch his fuel and his tires all 28 laps. We'll see if anybody else dares to do it again.
Yeah, when these guys come out, depending on if anybody's got to get back on the lead lap car's got to get his Lucky Dog or Pastor whichever. But we'll have to see if we've got to take that one extra pace lap. once I'm out, they've got 28 laps of fuel on the dime to go. Will there be 28 laps of racing left? Can everybody completely stretch it? Last night, I mentioned it earlier, some people really had to worry about that right front popping. Not so much the right rear, it's just the right front really turning strong into that into the corner to try to get the best run off. But when you're turning that much, you're scrubbing just a little bit of that tire. You don't need to do that. Run it up high if you got it. Just make sure that you preserve it for the run. If it goes green, if not, we've got a caution. It's going to be an all-out brawl for that first place position. Right now, Tenicola looks like he's going to be the man to beat.
It's going to be 30 laps to go the next time they cross the line. The 10 of Cola is the man to beat on the long runs, Pete, but it's going to have to be a short run attempt to take that lead from him. Behind Cola, you have the 15 of Mathers, the 51 of Honeycutt, the 78 of Shadow, and welcome back to the top 5, the 54 of Abar.
Yeah, the word I was looking for just a moment ago was the wave around cars, but I don't recall after the last caution or the stage whether I saw anybody else go a lap down. I don't pretend to see it all, Rick, so we'll have to see if there's any of that, or if they just go ahead and get double file up. Right now, everybody single file coming off of 3 and 4, coming to the start stripe one more time. So when we go back green, it should be with 28 to go. If you're in this car, I know if Boehner was in here right now and we were talking to him, he's talking about throwing that car into neutral, keeping off the gas as much as possible, only throw it back in gear when he had to save just enough gas to make it all the way. This caution may have actually forced everybody to make their bet and lie in it. I don't think anybody else is thinking about pitting with the exact amount of laps in the tank as what they've got left to go.
The 9 of Q-Dogs was the only driver that I personally saw come down pit road, Pete. I think if there's a caution inside the last 20 laps, a driver may pit for tires. Inside the last 10, even 15, I don't think so, just because of how difficult it is to get around this traffic when they fan out 3 and 4 wide. They'll go double file this time down the front, Pete. We're going to restart with about 28 laps to go.
Yeah, 28 laps is exactly what they get on a full tank of gas. 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods getting ready to light the fire one more time. 15, he's going to be able to pull in right behind the 10. Looks like it's going to be the 51 of Honeycutt, the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow. Getting ready to go at the line. Nope, we're going to take one more pace lap, it looks like. So we will be at the mark when we come through the Geico restart zone next time by.
Absolutely, Pete. The 10 of Cola is going to be leading this one. Again, you could call him Mr. Long Run this evening. We'll see what he does on this restart. The 54 of Abar looks like he's dropping back to get into position, Pete. I don't know if he's heading back to the back because of lag or what have you, but problems there for the 54 camp. That Twix Supra headed straight to the back.
The only reason I can think of that he would be dropping to the back like that is if a league admin or someone else caught him, or he was the cause of this caution, and they said, no, we know that you got a fast Twix machine. You were up top, but unfortunately, you got to go to the back. So we'll see if that 54 Twix machine of Abar is going to be able to work his way back up to the top where he's been, for quite at least a stage of the race, combined laps, but nobody has had anything for this 10. The 15's been pretty strong all night long as well. 51 of Honeycutt, the 78 of Unforgotten Shadow. He's shown up as of late. Here we go, Rick.
Back to green once again. The 10 of Cola leads this one, and these opening laps will be the money laps if anybody wants to take the lead away from him. The 51 of Honeycutt sitting in second, and he's got King Mathers on the outside in third. Here comes Unforgotten Shadow, and back into the top 5, that number 8 car, Peter, being piloted by Combat Beast 24.
Yeah, Combat Beast, he's out there also. He's one of the streamers tonight, giving us a hand with the lap count and fuel and all that. Combat Beast, thank you very much as well. So we'll have to see if Combat Beast is able to hold on. But Rick, already, that 10-car Cola, the 51 of Honeycutt, they are starting to assert themselves. It seems like whoever has been able to latch on to the back bumper of this 10 has been able to pull up. But here is that 51. He's going to challenge to the inside, and he might have a little bit of help as they try to go to the top side one more time. 51's going to be down low, 10 up high. They are 2 by 2, now 3 wide for P2.
Pete, this is the move where they need to take the lead away from Cola and do it successfully. Honeycutt had a chance to get up in front of the 10 and cut off his run into one. No dice. 26 laps to go. The 51 of Honeycutt to the inside being pushed by Combat Beast in the 8. Here comes the 15 of Mathers, and it looks like they're racing hard at a 2, almost 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, but Honeycutt maintains first place.
Yeah, Honeycutt maintains first place, 15 of King Mathers, 10 of Cola. Here comes that 39 of ENEA Shotgun. He was fast stage 1 until he ran into some pit road issues. Here comes the 71 as well of Twizzle. So now first through fourth, minus the 8-car Combat Beast, is on the top line. Top line's where most of the momentum has been. Let's see if they all just train on by that 8. Or if the 8 gets a little bit of help. Again, here comes the 39 past the 10.
Pete, these drivers are thinking they want to go to the end on these tires. Top line is where you keep the most speed and turn the car the least. So they're going to save the most amount of rubber if they drive on that high line. But they still have to be patient. It's 24 laps to go. The 51 of Honeycutt is leading this race, but at what cost? You see the 10 of Cola continues to drop back through the field. Is he ensuring that his tires and fuel will go all the way to the distance? 51, 15, 8, your top 3.
I just saw a big old wiggle out of that 10 car. You got to figure this is probably one of the first times in 100 laps where we've seen that 10 car in dirty air. Gotta figure he's had that car set up to be able to lead. Hasn't really had to worry about being behind people until right now. So as he continues to drop just a little bit, 8 cars moved on up, 39's moved on up. You see quite a few others, but right now Honeycutt in that 51 is the guiding light for the 15 of King Mathers. He's actually going to move on down and block the advance of King Mathers. And first and second grabbing each other. Here comes the 8 of Combat Beast down low.
There's a wreck out of that fourth corner. It's the pole sitter, the 39 of ENEA Shotgun, who slams into the pit road partition. Now Honeycutt still leading this one, and they're still green as they go through that second corner. 51 high, 15 low. The 8 of Combat Beast in third. Out of the backstretch, it's going to be a drag race for first. The 51 of Honeycutt very loose.
Yeah, 51 of Honeycutt shaking that honey baked ham all over the place in front of the 8 of Combat Beast. Made the 15 of King Mathers just a little nervous, but able to hold on to it. 51's going to be able to retain the lead with a whole shove all the way down the front stretch. Again, as we've seen, the top 3 starting to scoot away, this time without the 10 as the engine.
21 laps to go. The 51 of Honeycutt leads with the 8 of Combat Beast drafting, and now here's the move for first place. 8 to the inside. Honeycutt just lets him scoot on by. New leader, car number 8, Combat Beast. Honeycutt now in second place out of the fourth corner, but now he's to the inside of the 8, and they're going to drag race down the front stretch. The 8 car edges him to the line with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, saw the 8 really throw it, or just completely sent it into the corner right there. And the first thing that flashed to my mind was Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson. Carl Edwards tried a big old slide job on the 48. He said, well, it worked in a video game after slamming the outside wall. Not so much this time. The 8 and 51 continue to battle it out.
8 to the high side, 51 behind him. Coming out of this fourth corner, it's going to be 19 laps to go at the line, and these two drivers are still racing hard. It's going to be a fuel mileage race all the way to the end between those that have saved and those that haven't. Coming out of pit road now, that looks like the 39 of ENEA Shotgun, who will lose valuable time after that crash with no yellow. The pole sitter will not be winning this race without a big miracle from the flagman. At the front, it's still the 51 of Honeycutt and the 8 of Combat Beast. Sitting in third is the number 71 of Twizzle. A-Bar in fourth, who's coming back strong from that penalty. And rounding out the top 5 is the new guy, Pete, Boudreaux in car number 16.
Yeah, Boudreaux keeping that car number 16 pretty wound up, but absolutely. You talked about the 54 of Abar. Abar had to go to the back of the field on the restart. So whatever he's been able to, whatever kind of car he's got, doing a phenomenal job bringing it back up into P4 from P20. So great run so far for that Twix Camry.
Absolutely. Now as they cross the line, we're on lap 184 of 200, which gives us 17 laps left in this competition. 8, 51, 71, your top three, and single file they are all through this race. One car who's loose and slow out of the second corner, but will not affect these leaders. Boudreaux in the 16, and now willing the 54 with the front of his Eris Camaro.
On track right now with the 47 Ally Camaro for Bill's Legend. He's actually on pit road. Came in for just a splash and probably some right side tires. Rick, I really hope that the 47 practiced this, thinking that it might go for fuel. If that's the case, he might be all right. But did he also practice the just the right side tire change? Or will this 47 car get too loose in the long run, or what's left of the long run? 15 laps remaining.
It'll be 15 to go at the line, Pete, and the 98 of Master Killer has done all right, but so far not enough to get inside that top 5. At the front of this one, you still have the 51 of Honeycutt following the 8 of Combat Beast into turn number 1, and it looks like, Pete, no, we're still racing. I'm so sorry. I thought the caution was going to come out. They were slow into 1. That's my mistake, Pete. 8 still leads.
Yeah, 8 still leads, and now riding on board with the 10 of Mr. Cola. Definitely been the class of the field all race long. As I look all around this 10 Hunt Brothers Camaro, I don't really see any issues. I'm wondering if what the guys out there in chat are saying, that he's just back there coasting, saving a bit of fuel. Old Mr. Cola, he's got 2 wins on the season, if I'm not mistaken. So he knows what he needs out of this Camaro to get it done. Could he be back there just playing possum, waiting for everybody else to have to go on down pit road in order for him to take that lead back? We'll have to see. Right now, just kind of drafting behind the 18 of Blitz.
Pete, it's lucky number 13 laps to go this time by, and these drivers are now committed. They did not come earlier. They are now committed to stretching what they've got all the way to the end, or they have to abandon the plan, and that will be their shot at winning this race. Cola could have the right idea, but will it be too little too late for the driver of that number 10 Hunt Brothers Chevrolet? You see him at the back of this line, patiently biding his time. At the point, the 8 of Combat Beast still leads. Here comes Honeycutt in car 51.
Yeah, car 51, Honeycutt thought about ducking down low, maybe just taking a little bit of a look, maybe just ducking out to get a little bit of clean air to that Camaro's nose if he was slightly overheating. Side by side, here comes the 54 of Abar. He saw those guys. He knew they had to be slowing up in order to race like that. Was going to take full advantage of those slower speeds. Now the 8 car of Combat Beast up high, 54 and the 51 side by side. 51's going to go back to the lead, but not without a challenge.
8 laps to go at the line. I'm sorry, not 8 laps to go at the line. 11 laps to go at the line. The 8 car of Combat Beast in 3rd place, catching up to the 51 of Honeycutt. Abar in the 54 now to the inside. The 8 car will not make it 3 wide for the lead, but it's still 2 by 2, a 4-way fight for first, headed into 3.
Our Combat Beast, so yeah, you want to bet, Rick James? Here I come to the bottom underneath the 54 of Abar. Here comes the 15 of King Mathers. He's going to try on by again. Top line's going to have a bit more of a draft, so Combat Beast again will lose at least 2 more spots as these guys continue to pull away from the rest of the pack behind. Who's going down pit road? Who's going to stay out? We're staying right here. Hopefully y'all out there in chat are going to do the same and see this thing all the way through to the end. Of 51 of Honeycutt, he wants to notch that first win.
9 laps to go at the line. Anybody would be a fool to back out now with the way this finish is shaping up. Abar in car 54, who was sent to the tail end for causing that last caution, has made his way up spectacularly. Now in second place with 8 laps left, but does he have the fuel to make it? It's a question for any of these drivers. We'll see what they can do next time by 8 at the line.
Panda Girl, if this is putting you to sleep, please go check your pulse. This should be anything but sleepy. 51 of Honeycutt to the outside, 54 of A-Bar down low, 8 car into 15 of King Mathers. They are side by side. And Rick, while all this is happening, there is a train coming of 3 or 4 cars behind this top 4.
This top 4 has had to be saving for some time, Pete. We'll see if they have what it takes. The 16 of Boudreaux in 5th place. Behind him, it looks like the 10 of Mr. Cola and a couple other friends have come to join this fight, Pete. It's going to be 8 to go at the line.
Yeah, Mr. Cola definitely 7. Applying the pressure right now. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, Pete, my apologies. 7 to go at the line. I had the count wrong.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No, 10 of Mr. Cola, he's starting to apply himself all over again. He has not only caught up with this top 4 with a little bit of help, but he is, I have no doubt in my mind, before the end of this, he will be there. He's going to try to battle it out for the lead. Right now, A-Bar slammed that outside wall. That's going to allow the 8 of Combat Beast to slide on by. Great heads up by Combat to realize what was happening. Pull down low, get on the 54, 51 of Honeycutt, the same thing. King Mathers, all these cars able to press on after the 54 hard outside contact.
8 of Combat Beast now leads this race with 6 laps remaining. 51 to the outside. Here comes Mathers to the inside in the 15. Boudreaux in the 16 car sits in 4th. A rookie has never won their debut race. There's the 54. He's taken the rookie. The rookie in the 51 of Honeycutt now collected, and the curse of the commentator strikes on the 16 of Boudreaux and the 51 of Honeycutt. That's not the first time the 51 of Honeycutt has gotten loose out of 2 or 4, and this time the innocent bystander, the collateral damage in a position to do what a rookie has never done. The 16 of Boudreaux collected in that accident with 5 laps remaining.
You'll have to see if these guys are racing it back. Right now, King Mathers on the outside. The 8 car of Combat Beast just behind. And look who it is right back here in number 3. It's going to be car number 10 in that mellow yellow Kyle Petty throwback. Top line, they're nose to tail. 10 car, he wants that lead back. He knows that he's got the car to contend. Can he get it there past these red, white, and blue roadblocks that are right in his way? That's what he figures these guys are. And, no, we are still full throttle.
4 laps to go. It's not going to be any cautions now, Pete. The 10 car of Mr. Cola has been saving fuel and tires this entire time. It's one thing to catch. It's another thing to pass. Mathers in the 15 now on the high side, coming around some lap traffic. The 10 of Cola right behind him. And this is going to be the race for the win. 3 to go at Homestead.
Yeah, the 15 of King Mathers, he's got the lead. 10 car Cola, he is now all over the place. Just saw the 8 car Combat Beast. He had to pull it on down pit road, following his stream all night long. His fuel light was on. You can just imagine, just right sides and a splash, if that, or just take a half a can and come on back out. Does the 15 of King Mathers have what it takes to complete the lap? He hasn't been up front. Was he doing the same as the 10 of Cola and saving just a little bit in order to make it there? We'll definitely have to find, but right now, as you said, this is the race for the lead.
It'll be less than 3 miles now, Pete. The 10 car of Cola now to the inside as they overtake Combat Beast in the 8. Mathers scrapes the wall out of turn number 2. Cola undisturbed into turn number 3, sailing away with a clear lead. White flag will be in the air this time by.
Yeah, 10 car is able to get it on out. 15's got to be on fumes by now. Just saw the 8 come on back off pit road. He was in P3. Well, he just pit, so he's going to try to work his way back on by the 15 to unlap himself at least from second. We'll have to see what happens, but 10 car is driving away.
Cola with the lead down the backstretch, and he could coast to the line if he needed to. The strategy worked. His race acumen works, and in South Beach he's going to have the shades on and enjoy the sunshine and the palm trees. It's Mr. Cola 12 wins NNR Xfinity at Homestead.
Phenomenal drive by 10 all night long. Not only there at the end, but he was able to perform all race. So Mr. Cola P1, Unforgotten Shadow P2, Q-Dog brings it home P3, Master Killer P4, and so we're actually seeing people that were up there and battling, and they weren't. It was in fourth position. Mixed, cars that were a lap down mixed in with those that were on the lead lap. Kind of unfortunate with that's one thing about all the customs. But Master Killer again P4, Baritone Boss in P5, Commando Griff in 6th, Little Tank in 7th, King Mathers in 8th, A-Bar in 9th, and Honeycutt, last car right there in P number 10. So Rick, that 10 car, just an absolute clinic tonight.
A masterclass. An absolute masterclass from Mr. Cola 12. If you want to see how to secure a race win, that's how it's done, ensuring he has enough fuel to go to the end, biding his time, and striking when the iron is hot.
All right, guys, we are going to take a quick break while we allow everybody to perform their cool-down laps and work their way up into the booth, and yeah, we'll be right back. Please stay tuned. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. We definitely got our top 3 up in the booth ready to go. We're going to start off with the one and only Q-Dog. Rick, you were just talking to him about his stage 1 finish. Why don't you go and pick up the driver, number 9?
Q-Dogs, congratulations on that third step on the podium, my friend. You bring the number 9 Hooters Camaro home in P3 after you took home second place in stage number 1. Good points day for you overall.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Coming into this race, a big thing was to try to get some stage points. It seems like I've been getting good finishes, but haven't really been sealing the deal in stages. So another solid finish. 4 weeks in a row with booth appearance, so that's pretty cool. And it just kind of bided my time this whole race. You know, obviously we all know how the way turn 2 drives, and just kind of biding my time, letting everything happen, and just kind of working myself up there.
Absolutely, Q. It was a great run, a consistent run as well, and you stayed out of trouble, man. Congratulations on that podium finish.
Thank you.
Pete, let's not forget our Sorry, Pete. I was going to say, let's not forget our second place finisher.
Not at all, but Q-Dog, before I let you go, I saw you, kind of sending it out there in Twitterville. You were definitely prepared for tonight. Any shout-outs? You owe anybody anything for a little bit of setup help, maybe?
We did a lot of practice. The J-Paw Militia did a lot of practice. I'm going to give a shout-out to J-Paw. He asked me to run this scheme, and I think it looked pretty good out there.
Well, good job once again, sir. Yeah, and then Mr. Unforgotten Shadow. God, I love that gamer tag. I tell you, man, you were up there. It seemed like whenever it really mattered. We were following along with that pack that seemed like it was going to be a battle for first, and it actually winded up being guys trying to stay on the lead lap, or if caution was to come out or something like that. Walk us through those last 10 laps and how you were able to come on back with this P2.
Well, I was definitely not in those cars. I dropped back as soon as I knew that we had to save 2 laps. I just immediately dropped back. They were just passing me left and right, and I was just trying to save as much fuel as I can. And once I knew I was able to make it, I just put her in gear and I just kept going through. And one by one, cars would hit pit road or they'd run out, and then one by one, I went from 15th all the way to P2, and um, it just so happens to work in my favor that way. I mean, I didn't get the number 1 spot, but hey, nothing wrong with being the first loser.
No, not at all. This Heat 5 doesn't go by if you ain't first or last. Not at all. 'Cause with the competition out there in all three of the series here in NNR, whether it's Truck, Xfinity, or Cup, anytime you're on the top three, or top five, you've done your job to the best of your ability. Might have just been missing out one little piece. Any idea what you needed to be able to get up there and try to get past that 10 car when he was up at the front and really nobody was able to get past him?
Well, what I really truly need is for 10 car to not be in the race. But no, like to be honest, my car was just garbage the whole entire race, and I asked that because I was watching A Bar, and I know A Bar actually helped me out. So I want to give a shout out to A Bar for helping me out with my little car. And it actually turned. She was humming and purring, and she got me up to the front when needed be. But I mean, I really don't think there's really anything that I could have for the 10 car, unfortunately.
Well, man, as Rick James says, congrats on that P2 spot on the podium. Great points tonight for you, and we'll see you next week in Bristol.
Oh yes, sir. I'm excited for it. Thank you for always broadcasting, boss.
Absolutely welcome, and we'll be talking to you again soon about that diecast offer. And then, old Rick James, you get to talk to driver number 10 for the third time this season, I believe already. Oh, Mr. Cola.
Twice as nice, but he's got Glee for 3. Mr. Cola in that number 10 Hunt Brothers Pizza Camaro with the special Kyle Petty yellow mellow paint scheme. Welcome to the booth, to the post-race show, but more importantly, congratulations on that top step on the podium. How does that feel?
Uh, it's I wasn't expecting myself to get 3 wins this fast. It's kind of weird. I win one and then I finish back in the back and I win one. So it feels pretty good. We had American Ethanol, Mathers, and A-Bar and Unforgotten Shadow. We were trying to get away up there, and then there would be a caution. So it was a good team effort, and I'm glad I got the win.
A lot of fans in the chat are also glad you got the win as well. Lots of support from Backwoods Outcast, Rock NASCAR as well. Towards the end of that third stage, we saw you kind of back off and drop outside of the top 5. Was that purely strategy to save fuel and tires?
Yeah, I was about a lap and a half, 2 laps short, and I figured this draft off of them, and to save more and more than they do just racing. So just gotta be patient, and then I just striked at the right moment and got the win.
Struck while the iron's hot. You made all the right moves in the right places, and here you are for the third time this season on top of the world, king of the hill, and he certainly deserves a cold, fizzy drink. Mr. Cola, once again, congratulations on your third win of the season.
Thank you, and thank you all for broadcasting.
Thank you, sir. Pete, back to you.
Appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Rock NASCAR, I couldn't say any better. Congrats, Cola, on a job very well done. Well, that's gonna bring an end to tonight's race, but don't forget we got one going tomorrow night when the Cup guys take to Homestead-Miami Speedway. Big blue track in the middle of nowhere. If you've actually ever been to this track, it is surrounded by swampland. It's a beautiful track. I got there to see Dale Jr.'s last ride when Martin Truex Jr. won his championship. It's a beautiful facility if you ever get the chance to go and visit. But Rick James, we saw one hell of a race tonight. Whole lot of competition all the way around, from first all the way back through 20th. Unfortunately, we did have one guy lag out at the very beginning, but other than that, every put their rides through their paces and battled it out to the very end.
It was a great finish, Pete, all the way around. Special mention to the 16 of Boutro, who made his NNR debut tonight in that Aris Camaro, and a great, great job by him all throughout, even through the end, resilient enough to finish that race. Fans at home, you've got that subscribe button in the bottom corner. Give that a click, give it a follow, spread the love. The link is twitch.tv/repeat 1975, and on Twitter, where you can find Pete and myself at I'm Rick James 36, Pete at repeat 1975. Pete, once again, thank you for having me. What a show.
Absolutely great show. For the record books. All kinds of different leaders, all kinds of different laps, all kinds of different lines, all kinds of different levels of competition. It's gonna be great. And again, we still got one more to go when the Cup guys hit this track tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern. Absolutely looking forward to that. And the one and only Word Burton will be with me in the booth to call that race. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Combat Beast, thank you very much for the bits. Guys, we will see you on track again tomorrow night. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, stay apart, wear your mask. We want to get back to the track. I'll see you somewhere around the track. Later, everybody.